Chapter 1396. Yes. Everyone stood at attention and saluted. The deadline given by Wan Guangxiao was really stressful, but the more it was like this, the more intense the fire in the hearts of the brothers of the Dragon's Fury Special Forces burned. Wan Guangxiao knew that this was not because his provocation worked, but because this group of stinking brats liked it when he provoked them. The more he provoked them, the more impulsive these brats would be. What Su Yun and the others needed was this drive. As long as they had this drive, they would definitely be able to resolve this matter from the beginning to the end. In Wan Guangxiao's words, this group of brats needed this kind of provocation. Especially their fighting strength, the more they were provoked, the fiercer they would be. Now, all the clues about Christian had been cut off. Even with the previous clues, it took them 2 days to confirm that they had found him, let alone now that there were no clues at all. The surveillance cameras from the northern suburbs to Yanjing did not show any trace of him at all. Christian and the person who saved him seemed to have evaporated into thin air. Not even a shadow could be found. The police also used all the strength they could, because since the day before yesterday, they had been under a lot of pressure. It was said that the boss of the Yu family, one of the 3 major financial groups in Yanjing, had been murdered. This was not a small matter, and the commotion it caused was also quite big. Almost all the police forces in Yanjing were mobilized. One had to know that the Yu family had a considerable impact on social and economic development. The Yu family was involved in more than 40 industries, and Boss Yu's contributions were indispensable. If the Yu family did not have him and relied on his disappointing son, they would probably collapse quickly. Su Yun and the others really did not have the time to think about this matter. If it were not for the overwhelming news and newspapers, they would not have the time to find out about this matter. Su Yun needed an entire day to clear his thoughts about dealing with Christian. He needed an absolutely quiet space to think without any disturbances. Only when he thought about the problem according to the other party's train of thought could he achieve a real breakthrough. At this moment, Christian was in an even more luxurious villa, facing the person he respected the most when he was in General Arnold's school, Jefferson. At that time he had really given up. He had never expected that Jefferson would appear out of nowhere and save him. He was so incredible that Christian still suspected that he was dreaming. "How did you know I would be there?" Christian looked at Jefferson in shock. He had too many questions in his mind. I spent a lot of effort to hide in that place. Even their people spent a lot of effort to find me. How did you? I really don't understand. How do you know all this? If it wasn't for you, I'm afraid I would have been. Jefferson laughed. You can't even figure this out? You don't look like someone who was trained by the general. I didn't need to spend any effort to find you. I just need to find a way to follow them, and they will naturally find a way to find you. It would be much easier to keep up with them. That's because they didn't know of my existence before, and they sent out such a large number of troops, giving me the perfect opportunity. You are indeed. Christian didn't know how to express his admiration. You are indeed. Christian didn't know how to express his admiration. Christian has been under your care all these years, and you saved me this time. I really don't know how to express my gratitude. You don't have to express any gratitude. The general gave us the same mission this time. I will find a way to find you. Do you know why? Jefferson said. Because I realized that this can't be done alone. I don't know if the general has realized this, but I believe that it is impossible to complete this mission alone. Then why didn't the general let everyone come together? Christian was stunned. Jefferson smiled. How would we know what the general is thinking? But I believe that the general has a purpose for doing this. If too many people appear at the same time, Hua Xia will definitely be alerted. After all, the rookies from the 12 heavenly stars just got into trouble. At this time, the general might have chosen to do this to deceive the general. At least this way, the other party won't know how many people we have and won't be able to make a judgment easily. They are so cautious. How did you keep up with them? Christian said. I think they won't believe that I came to Hua Xia alone. Otherwise, they wouldn't have hidden outside the villa for so long. They have indeed made a judgment and know that we are not alone. However, You are the only one they can control at the moment, so all their attention is on you. This gave me the chance to follow them, Jefferson said. There is only one chance like this. We can't have anyone else who can keep up with them. Their vigilance has increased by another level. After pausing for a moment, Jefferson continued, Chris, you made a mistake this time. You shouldn't have exposed yourself so early. Yen Long and Su Yun have already seen you, so your identity will naturally be found out very quickly. This is very disadvantageous for you. Although they know of my existence now, no one has seen me. This may be my only advantage. I was too impatient. I was too eager for instant success, which led to the current situation, Christian said regretfully. He didn't want to be so impatient in the beginning. It was because he met those guys in the bar that he realized that he could directly lure Su Yun out, so he couldn't wait to do such a thing. This led to everything that had happened today. Jefferson didn't say anything. He raised his wine glass and took a sip. It has already happened, so don't think too much about it. What we need to do now is to think about how to proceed with the next step of the plan. If we want to deal with so many people and catch all of them in one fell swoop, we still need help. Christian nodded. Yes, we do need help. Thinking of this, Christian suddenly looked around the villa and asked, This place is? A boss helped me to provide this place. As long as we are in Huaxia, we can stay here for a day, Jefferson said proudly. Also, no one dares to touch this place easily. Because this boss has an extraordinary status in Beijing, Huaxia. He is the boss of one of the 3 major financial groups in Beijing. Can we trust him? Christian asked doubtfully. If someone wanted to betray them and they stayed in this villa, wouldn't they be caught red-handed? It was safer to use his method, which was to directly snatch a place to stay. Of course we can trust him. Jefferson laughed. If I couldn't guarantee 100% safety, would I choose to stay here? Ha ha ha, don't worry about this. He definitely won't betray us. If he betrays me, it won't benefit him at all. I don't need to say more. You should understand what I mean, right? Christian nodded. He understood, of course he understood. Obviously, the person who provided this place had something on him. Moreover, it was a fatal piece of evidence, or some kind of evidence of a conspiracy. Otherwise, with such a cautious person like Jefferson, it was impossible for him to live here so openly. Since Jefferson had made a 100% guarantee, he could be completely at ease. He first calmed down and quickly adjusted his breathing. Otherwise, if he was attacked by Su Yun and the others the next time, there would be no one to save him. You should adjust your body first and be ready to fight at any time, Jefferson said. I still have some things to deal with. You should be fine, right? No problem. In such a safe place, of course, Christian would be fine. Chapter 1397. Just as the Dragon Fury team was overwhelmed by Christian's matter, someone arranged for them to work. It was the higher-ups who accepted the police's application and specially approved the Dragon Brigade's Dragon Fury team to participate in the investigation of Big Boss Yu's murder. Wan Guangxiao was a little angry when he heard this. Was this a joke? They were already overwhelmed with their own matters. It was fine if the police couldn't fully support them, but now they were asking them to help them deal with a murder case. It was just a murder case. What was the use of the police? What was the use of the Major Crimes Investigation Unit? Wasn't it to solve these problems? Asking his people to do these things was like using a cannon to kill a mosquito. Wasn't it too much of a waste? However, the higher-ups didn't give Wan Guangxiao a chance to refuse. They directly said that this wasn't an ordinary murder. The murderer's modus operandi was quite skilled. At first glance, it should be the work of a professional killer. Therefore, they asked their people to come forward and investigate. After hearing about the work of a professional killer, Su Yun suddenly thought of a person. When he went to save Fu Tian and the others that day, wasn't the guy called Xiong Zhou who stood up to help him? Wasn't he a professional killer? Moreover, he had just arrived in Yanjing. When something happened to the Yu family. It was impossible to say that he wasn't suspicious. Su Yun's first suspect was this person. Although if it wasn't for that guy that day, he and Christian still didn't know who would win, but if he committed a crime in China, Su Yun wouldn't let him off easily. It wasn't that Su Yun couldn't do something like putting righteousness before family. Even if Xiong Zhou had contributed to Christian's matter, if he came to Hua Xia to kill someone, Su Yun wouldn't let him get away with it. He would definitely bring him to justice. Chief, leave this to me. I have a suspect now, but I can't be sure if it's him or not. Su Yun, it's that Xiong Zhou I told you about that day. He helped me at a critical moment. He admitted to me personally that he was a professional hitman and had just arrived in Hua Xia. Since the Yu family had gotten into trouble at this time, he was more or less a suspect. But things are still uncertain, so leave it to me first. I will find a way to contact him. Wan Guangxiao frowned. Since that was the case, he didn't say anything more. Su Yun was willing to take over this job mostly because he wanted to give an explanation to the higher-ups. Otherwise, he wouldn't have taken over this job at this critical juncture. Boss, I'll go with you. Qian Feng said, if it's really related to that person, it won't look good if you arrest him directly. Just leave it to me. I'll go by myself. None of you should interfere in this matter. If it's really him, I won't show any mercy. Su Yun, even if you go with me, you might not be able to win in a one-on-one fight. Xiong Zhou isn't weak either. No one could change Su Yun's mind once he decided on something. The others continued to analyze and track down Christian and that unknown person. Su Yun left the Dragon Brigade and contacted Fu Tian directly. If he wanted to find Xiong Zhou, he had to find Di Cheng, who was with him. He could only ask Fu Tian to help him contact Di Cheng. When Su Yun contacted Fu Tian had just been discharged from the hospital and returned home. Although his injuries weren't serious, he was the only child in his family. How could he not be pampered? He only left the hospital after confirming that there were no problems. Su Yun followed the address Fu Tian gave him and quickly arrived at a famous district for the wealthy in Beijing. However, when Fu Tian was discharged from the hospital, some people came to look for him. The Fu family did not welcome them. This was because the Fu family felt that the reason why Fu Tian was in trouble was because he had befriended these bad friends. Therefore, they were very cold and unhappy towards Su Yun. This made Fu Tian unhappy. He made a fuss at his family and told them very clearly that Su Yun was the big brother he respected the most. If anyone dared to treat him this way, it would be equivalent to slapping Fu Tian in the face. He wouldn't stay in this house anymore and would leave immediately. For the sake of this precious person, the Fu family could only welcome Su Yun with a smile. Su Yun didn't care about how others treated him. Instead, he scolded Fu Tian because of his attitude towards his family. This made the Fu family change their attitude towards Su Yun. This person was very reasonable and could even make Fu Tian listen to him. Regardless of whether he had drugged Fu Tian or not, at least the Fu family was very satisfied with him. The malice they had towards Su Yun disappeared and they started to like him. Fu Tian patiently chased his family members, who were asking all sorts of questions, out of his room. After closing the door, he asked Su Yun excitedly, "Brother Yun, you must have some instructions for looking for me, right? I heard from Di Cheng about what happened that day. Is it true? Was it really Xiong Zhou who helped you? Is that why we were saved?" "Yes." Su Yun nodded. "It was indeed Xiong Zhou who helped me that day. That's why I'm here today." Su Yun went straight to the point and said, "I want you to help me contact Di Cheng and ask him to contact Xiong Zhou. I have something to ask him. Can you do this?" "Of course." Fu Tian said, "Di Cheng is my good brother. I can ask him to come over with just a call." "Hee, Brother Yun, are you going to thank Xiong Zhou? If this is the case, I can do it. I invited you to a meeting and I can just thank you for this matter. With your status, it is too embarrassing for you to say thank you so easily. Moreover, you did this to save us. If we weren't in a coma and distracted you, you would definitely be able to settle this matter easily." "I should thank you. I have already thanked you. However, I am not here to thank you this time. Su Yun said, help me contact him. The sooner, the better. Find a place. I want to see Xiong Zhozhou now. Fu Tian patted his chest and promised, okay. No problem. He acted swiftly. He immediately contacted Di Cheng and told him that Su Yun wanted to meet Xiong Zhozhou. Di Cheng quickly arranged to meet him at a shop owned by a relative. They would have afternoon tea together, chat, and talk about life and so on. An hour later, Di Cheng and Xiong Zhozhou arrived on time. After the four of them arrived at a quiet private room, Su Yun went straight to the point. Xiaotian, I will not treat you and your friends as outsiders since you are here. I will say whatever I want to say. Hearing that Su Yun's tone was a little off, Fu Tian was stunned. Brother Yun, what is the matter? You should have heard about the murder of Boss Yu of the Yu Corporation, right? Su Yun asked directly. Fu Tian and Di Cheng both nodded. Of course, they had heard about it. For the past few days, the first thing that came out of every person's mouth on every street and alley was, you know that something happened to the Yu family, right? This was no longer news in Yanjing City. After all, Boss Yu was too famous. Before Su Yun could continue speaking, Xiong Zhozhou laughed. Brother Yun, you asked me to come here today, and the first thing you said was this. Obviously, you suspect that I have something to do with this. Why? Are you going to ask if I was the one who killed him? Yes, Su Yun said directly. Yes, I do want to ask if you were the one who killed him. I heard that this matter is very strange. The murderer is very professional and is a professional killer. As for your identity, it is so coincidental. He died after you arrived in Beijing. I have to say that you are very suspicious. Therefore, I hope you don't mind. It's okay, I don't mind. Although Xiong Zhozhou said this, he felt somewhat uncomfortable. After all, he was someone who had helped Su Yun. Yet, Su Yun was actually suspecting him. Brother Yun, I guarantee that this matter has nothing to do with him. Di Cheng said, he has already washed his hands of the gold basin. He came to Huaxia to look for someone, not to kill someone. This matter has absolutely nothing to do with him. I swear on my head that this matter is not related to him at all. Even if you don't believe me, you should believe Fu Tian. I, Di Cheng, will never lie. I will definitely take responsibility for my actions. Fu Tian looked at Su Yun in surprise. Brother Yun, you must be mistaken. There must be a misunderstanding. It can't be Xiong Zhozhou. If he was the one who did it, why would he stay in Huaxia? Don't you think so? Chapter 1398. What he said made sense. If it were Su Yun, he wouldn't have stayed behind. Staying behind was purely looking for excitement. The possibility of this matter being related to Xiong Zhozhou could be said to be extremely small. But even so, Su Yun still came because he needed a definite answer. Eliminating suspicion of Xiong Zhozhou was also an easy thing for Su Yun. Brother Yun, I'm really surprised that you would suspect me. I'm quite unconvinced. Xiong Zhozhou's face was a little bitter. No matter what, the first thing I did when I came to Huaxia was to help you. Aren't you a little too heartless to treat me like this? Su Yun smiled slightly. I'm relieved that it wasn't you. It's my duty to suspect you. I hope you can understand. If there's anything presumptuous, please forgive me. Brother Yun, if this matter was really done by Xiong Zhozhou, are you really going to arrest him? Fu Tian was a little hesitant. No matter what, he's still one of us. Moreover, if it wasn't for him that day, I'm afraid we would all be dead. Brother, you're not the kind of person who doesn't have a sense of brotherhood, right? This has nothing to do with brotherhood. Su Yun, this is a matter of principle. These are two separate matters. For that matter, I owe Zhozhou a favor. If he needs me in any time of danger, I, Su Yun, will definitely be the first to stand up. But if he was a murderer hired by someone else and did something he shouldn't have done in Huaxia, I'm afraid I really can't be his brother. I can't go against a matter of principle. Xiong Zhozhou gave a thumbs up. Brother Yun, No wonder young Master Fu admires you so much. The things you do are really convincing. Just for this matter, I, Xiong Zhou, also admire you. If I was the one who killed him, I would never lie in front of my brothers. I would also dare to take responsibility for my actions. But I really didn't kill this person. I just arrived in Huaxia and have no grudges with him. Also, no one knows that I'm in this line of work. Even if someone wants to hire someone, they can't contact me. Su Yun nodded. That's for the best. It'll save me a lot of trouble. Originally, I really didn't want to get involved in this matter. It really wasn't something I should have done. But since the higher-ups have already arranged it, it means that the opponent is not someone that ordinary police officers can deal with. Xiong Zhou nodded. Brother Yun, you're right. The murderer was very skilled at killing people. Anyone who saw it would know that it was done by a professional. How do you know? Su Yun was stunned. Have you been to the scene? Xiong Zhou nodded. I've been to the scene. After learning about this news, I also wanted to see the level of the people in Huaxia's assassin world. For a long time, this industry hasn't been popular in China. Huaxia's laws and regulations are too strict. I didn't dare to make a living in this industry. I could only drift abroad. I heard about this when I came back. Naturally, there are some methods of the perpetrator. I really admire him. His methods are quite sophisticated. Compared to you? Asked Su Yun. He's better than me. Even compared to you, Brother Yun, he's definitely on par with you. Xiong Zhou said, people who can do this are not just assassins. Brother Yun, have you considered this matter? Although assassins are the most suspicious, it doesn't necessarily have to be done by assassins. Your subordinates, or special agents, all have the ability to do so. Xiong Zhou's words made Su Yun fall into deep thought. It had to be said that there were too many suspicious points in this matter. Did you find anything? I don't dare to say if I found anything, but regarding this matter, even if you didn't look for me, I was just about to ask young Master Fu to contact you. Xiong Zhou said as he took out his phone from his pocket. When I pretended to be a reporter and went to see the scene, I undoubtedly found something. I took a picture with my phone, but the police didn't seem to take this as evidence. Instead, they treated it as something left behind by the victim. Xiong Zhou showed the picture on his phone to Su Yun. I've seen this before. It's something on the badge of an American special agent. If you've seen this before, you'll naturally remember. Su Yun was stunned. That's right, he had seen this before. When he fought with the 12 heavenly stars some time ago, he noticed that the 12 heavenly stars had very exquisite badges on their collars, chests, or shoulders. The metal object in the picture was a part of those exquisite badges. Su Yun's eyebrows furrowed even tighter. This matter was too strange. Special agent? Did the Americans do it? Didn't they come here to find trouble with him? Why would they go against Boss Yu of the Yu Corporation? Even if someone hired someone to kill someone, they wouldn't be able to afford to hire someone of their level. This matter wasn't that simple. After all, he hadn't seen it with his own eyes. In Su Yun's heart, Xiong Zhou's credibility was barely passable. Anyway, I've told Brother Yun about this matter. As for what you think, I have no right to say. If you think that I'm still a friend, then believe me. If you don't think that I'm a friend, then it's fine if you don't believe me. Xiong Zhou said, but I have nothing to do with this matter. This is the truth. Su Yun nodded. He believed the last sentence. Looking at the picture, Su Yun suddenly felt that the person involved couldn't see clearly. At this point in time, an outsider might be able to see more clearly. Then, according to your opinion, what is the situation like? Tell me about it. I heard that a courier died of exhaustion on Singles Day. This proves that there's a serious problem. If there's no business, then there's no killing. Fu Tian said, someone must have hired someone to kill someone from the Yu family. There must be a huge conflict of interest. This is definitely the case. Di Cheng nodded as well. That's for sure. Otherwise, who would go against the Yu family? It must be for money. There are too many cases of people hiring someone to kill for money. Xiong Zhozhou added, That's for sure. Take me for example. If no one paid me, I definitely wouldn't go out on the streets and kill people. Killing people has a purpose. Even if you're an assassin, you still have professional ethics. Those who kill innocent people are not assassins. They're perverts and demons. The professional ethics of assassins have long been set by the evil god, Old Master Lu Xuanji. Look at his favorite disciple, Xie Fei's. He's also an assassin. He's after reputation. That's my target. Su Yun was speechless. How did this involve Xie Fei's and Old Master Lu? I'm just asking you to talk about this. What the enemy did was to seek greater benefits. They didn't hesitate to take the risk and pay a high price to kill Boss Yu. Xiong Zhozhou said, What's next is my conjecture. I'm not sure if it's accurate. I think this is what happened. The Yu family and the enemy had a huge conflict of interest, so the enemy wanted to hire someone to kill Boss Yu. However, most assassins wouldn't dare to act rashly when they know that the target is Boss Yu. After all, this matter is very important. Moreover, Boss Yu's bodyguards aren't easy to deal with. The assassin's level is very high, at least higher than mine. Su Yun motioned for Xiong Zhozhou to continue, although it was a conjecture without any evidence. So, the enemy of the Yu family didn't find a suitable assassin, but they met these guys. Xiong Zhozhou pointed to the photo on his phone. Because these guys are more powerful than the assassins, the price might be higher. However, those who can be enemies and competitors with the Yu family definitely don't lack money, so money isn't a problem. What's your basis? Su Yun asked indifferently after listening. Xiong Zhozhou shook his head. No. It's just a feeling. Your feeling is really good. Su Yun smiled slightly. It was said that assassins had a different intuition from ordinary people. Obviously, this wasn't nonsense. Xiong Zhozhou's conjecture without any evidence sounded particularly reliable to Su Yun. As for why, Su Yun could only say that it was a feeling. Chapter 1399. It was easy to investigate. The competition between these big families was basically a secret that most people knew in their hearts. Don't look at how they called each other friends and brothers on the surface, but in private, it was definitely not the case. They were all shady. When there were benefits to be gained from working together, everyone was on good terms, and they were all good brothers. However, once there were no benefits between them and only competition was left, it was hard to say what would happen. Xiao Tian, I have something to ask you about. Usually, the Yu Corporation has a bigger competition with someone and the interests involved are bigger. I'm afraid that this matter has something to do with that person. Su Yun frowned. Obviously, anyone who dared to touch the Yu family was not someone to be trifled with. Even if they were not as powerful as the Yu family, they would not be too far off. As the eldest young master of the Fu family, who was also one of the 3 largest financial groups in Beijing, he would probably know more about the relationships between these people than outsiders. Fu Tian was at a loss for a while. How would he know about this matter? He usually did not care about the family business, so he did not know about the competitors or business partners in the family, let alone whether he knew about the Yu family. This was not a small matter, so he did not dare to speak carelessly. Therefore, if he did not know, he could not brag about it. Brother Yun, I really do not know about this matter. How about this, I will ask my family and give you a reply as soon as possible. If he were to ask someone else about this matter, Su Yun would not believe everything that came out of their mouths. Fu Tian was different. He was a person that he could trust. Even though Fu Tian was a playboy, he was able to distinguish the importance of serious matters. When Su Yun asked him a question, he would not fool around. If he did not know, he would not say anything carelessly. Time is too tight. Su Yun frowned. He really did not have time to waste on this matter. Since Xiong Zhozhou had been ruled out as a suspect, he might as well drag it out. In any case, the police like to drag things out. Even though Su Yun had always done things swiftly and decisively, there was really nothing he could do about this matter. Su Yun already knew which one was more important than the other. Fu Tian patted his chest. Brother Yun, give me 2 hours, I will go to the company now. I believe that if I want to ask something, no one will dare to hide it from me. Even if I don't ask, there are so many gossipy women in the company. If I can't even find out what the Yu family has been doing recently and who they're competing with, then I really don't need to work in the company anymore. If you trust me, then give me 2 hours. I'll give you a satisfactory answer. 2 hours, good. Su Yun had no other choice. Unless he threw this matter aside and ignored it, he would give Fu Tian 2 hours to try. 2 hours. Su Yun could afford to wait. Since he was already out, he might as well give it a try. Then hurry up. If you can get any valuable information in 2 hours, tell me immediately. If you don't get any valuable information, then forget it. Su Yun, sometimes, haste makes waste. I trust you. Don't feel pressured. Fu Tian nodded vigorously. He took his car keys and ran out. This place was not far from his company, so he could get there in 10 minutes by car. Brother Yun, Fu Tian is my brother. His matters are my matters. He recognizes you as his big brother and admires you, so you are my big brother. I also recognize you as my big brother. After Fu Tian left, Di Qing said, If you need me to do anything, just tell me and I will do it immediately. I won't hesitate. I won't have any problems even if I have to sacrifice my life for you. You are a righteous person, Fu Tian is a righteous person, and I am also a righteous person. Su Yun wanted Di Cheng to help, but what could a hedonistic young master like Di Cheng do? At most, Di Cheng would go to his family's company to ask around like Fu Tian. However, Su Yun trusted the Fu family, who was also one of the 3 consortiums, more. In terms of probability, the Fu family's information was more reliable. If I need your help, I will not hesitate to ask you. Brother Yun, I like straightforward people like you. Xiong Zhozhou also said, I don't dare to boast about other things, but when it comes to this matter, Brother Yun, just let me know if you need anything. I'll do my best to help Big Brother Yun in this matter, not for anything else. I just want to clear my name a little. Also, I want to be friends with Brother Yun. Xiong Zhozhou was sincere when he said the last sentence. He was doing this for himself and to make friends. He was not hypocritical at all, and Su Yun liked it. Since all of you have said so, I will be hypocritical if I continue being polite. Xiong Zhozhou, if I really need your help in this matter, you can't run away from it. Just treat it as if you are doing this for yourself. You have to help me to the end. I owe you another favor. I will remember it. Brother Yun, remember that you are treating me as an outsider. Xiong Zhozhou said, Who doesn't have a few friends when they are outside? Relationships between friends are built by accumulating favors. If I have to be calculative with Brother Yun over such a small matter, I will not be able to make friends in the future. The 3 of them chatted and drank tea as they waited for Fu Tian's news. Di Cheng assured Fu Tian that he was very punctual and that he would be able to settle the matter within 2 hours. He also asked Su Yun to be patient and wait patiently for the news. He also said that Fu Tian would not disappoint them. Indeed, they were brothers and understood each other well. When the 2-hour deadline was almost up, Fu Tian rushed back. The first thing he said when he opened the door was gasping for breath. Brother Yun, I heard some news. I think that this matter is related to the death of the big boss of the Yu family. This was what had happened. After the storm at Shiguan some time ago, various places in Beijing had started to investigate the nightclubs that were involved in the prostitution industry. As a result, the nightclub under the Yu Corporation in Beijing, Oriental Flourishing World, had stopped operating. When this matter started, the land where Oriental Glory nightclub was located entered a new plan to form a small business district. This was a lucrative job. Of course, the Yu Corporation had the intention to take over this piece of land. No one would find a profitable business troublesome. Furthermore, he had an advantage. His advantage was that he could take the lead in demolishing the land where Oriental Glory was located. As for the surrounding areas, The Yu family would be responsible for dealing with them if they did not want to be demolished or participate in the new plan. His only request was for the government to approve the project for this piece of land. This was a win-win situation. Everyone would earn money and spend money. The government would not have to worry about it, and the Yu family would benefit from it. If the government did not approve the project for the Yu family, Big Boss Yu would not agree to the demolition. He would rather be a nail in the house and arrange for 2 people to guard it. He would not vacate the land. This was indeed a thorny issue. As such, the planning department had agreed to let the Yu Corporation handle the project in this area. Later on, when the project was approved, oh my God, it was a project worth tens of billions. How much money could they earn? Even the Yu family, who did not lack money, would be tempted by this figure. Everyone wanted to have a piece of the pie. Even if the pie was in the Yu family's mouth, there would still be people who wanted a piece of the pie. The person who appeared was the Song family of Huaxia. They were also a powerful force. Only such a powerful person would be able to get involved in this kind of work. The Yu family and the Song family were evenly matched. Both of them had connections, so it was not certain who would take over the project. As soon as he heard that the Song family was involved in this matter, the Yu family was immediately unhappy. He also made it clear that if this project was handed over to the Song family, he would not cooperate. He would have a taste of what it was like to be a holdout. This caused a commotion between the 2 families. They fought openly and secretly, ostracized each other, and schemed against each other. Gradually, everyone knew about the competition for that piece of land. Therefore, it was no longer a secret that the Yu and Song families had fallen out over huge benefits. This matter had been in a stalemate for a long time. It was time to put an end to it. Now that the old boss of the Yu family was in trouble, the Song family was obviously the biggest suspect. This was the news that Fu Tian had heard. The Song family was probably the only one who had a huge conflict of interest with the Yu family. Chapter 1400. Xiong Zhozhou had always claimed to be a mistress killer. Not to mention in Huaxia, even when he was in Australia, there were only a few women who were kept by rich men in the city who didn't know him. He liked to provoke this kind of woman because he didn't have to fall in love with them and wasn't afraid of being hurt. It wasn't that Xiong Zhozhou wanted to harm others, but because his pure feelings had been hurt by a woman. Once people lost their initial innocence, they would no longer believe in love and feelings. Xiong Zhozhou belonged to this kind of people who would no longer believe in love. He only talked about bed with women, not feelings. Most of the women who were kept by rich men in their boudoirs were the same as him. They had been hurt by love and were no longer willing to believe in love. Xiong Zhozhou understood this kind of people, so he could clearly understand the difficulties of this kind of people. He could clearly understand the psychology of this kind of people, so it was easier for him to become friends with this kind of woman, or to say, confidants. Since he had promised Su Yun to settle this matter as soon as possible, Xiong Zhozhou didn't waste any time. Soon, he asked Fu Tian to help him inquire about some things about Song Xiongxiong. He knew that Song Xiongxiong had many women in Yanjing's 3rd Ring Road and 4th Ring Road. Soon, Xiong Zhozhou found a subordinate, who was naturally Song Xiongxiong's favorite. He had to find the most favored one in order to find out the most effective secrets. With a little inquiry, Xiong Zhozhou figured out all of this woman's routes. Every day at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, she would go to a fixed beauty salon to have a beauty salon. Xiong Zhozhou waited at the door of the salon and stared at her. After she went in, he put a mineral water bottle cap pierced by steel nails under the car's wheel when there were few people around. As long as the car started to move, this matter would be settled. The tire would definitely press against the steel nails. Because of the mineral water bottle cap, the steel nails could help the steel nails to pierce the tire steadily. Once the car started to move, every time the wheel and the ground pressed against the steel nails on the mineral water bottle cap, the tire would leak a little due to the force. After 10 minutes, all the air in the tire would be gone. After everything was ready, Xiong Zhozhou drove the car and waited for the woman to show up. About an hour and a half later, the woman finally came out of the beauty salon. She held the phone in her hand and didn't look too happy. Today, Song Xiong called again to tell her that he wouldn't be coming over tonight. When she asked why he wasn't coming, his answer was always that he had something to do. If something happened, something happened. There wasn't a single moment of idleness from day to night. Women, even if they were other people's mistresses, still needed to be cared for and taken care of. Especially in their early 20s, it just so happened that they lacked love and needed it. Who would want to waste their youth like this? Obviously, after the phone call, the smile on her face had completely disappeared. She rolled her eyes unhappily and directly sat in her Land Rover. Not many women would drive such a car, especially those who were mistresses. They tended to drive small cars, such as TT, Z4, or Mini. This woman was so stylish to get such a wild car. It had to be said that she was really favored. Whatever she wanted, Song Xiong would give her. Soon, the car was on the road, and Xiong Zhozhou followed closely behind. He calculated the distance. It would take at least 20 minutes to return to her San Juan residence, and the 10-minute drive happened to be on a road with not much traffic. Everything happened step by step according to Xiong Zhozhou's calculation. On the road with not much traffic, the owner of the Land Rover finally realized the problem with the car and hurriedly got out to take a look. She didn't want to enter, but the tires were flat. It should be known that off-road tires were resistant. When the woman took a closer look, she realized that she had been tricked. There was such a designed nail on the tire, and it was so deep. If it was just a nail, it wouldn't have deflated so quickly. The problem was the cap of the mineral water bottle. Every time it was pressed on the road, this thing would separate a gap, and this gap caused the tire to quickly release the air. Damn it! Who was so wicked? The woman angrily kicked the tire. She was a woman. What should she do? Changing tires was a job like this. Not to mention a woman like her, even the average man now only knew how to drive and not change tires. She was already in a bad mood today. Song Xiong hadn't come to look for her for 2 days. Including today, it should be the 3rd day. Now, she encountered such a thing again. Unfortunately, she bit her lip. She needed Song Xiong to solve this problem for her. She quickly dialed Song Xiong's phone and begged her godfather to come and save her quickly. However, her godfather, Song Xiong, very impatiently scolded her, saying that he still had very important things to do. He asked her to call the 4S shop and let them deal with it. He also asked her not to call him for the next 2 days. There were too many things to do, and he didn't have time to care about her little temper. These words broke her heart. Didn't you usually say that you liked my temper? Didn't you like my coquettishness? What was wrong with him these days? There was a spare tire for the car, but she couldn't do it. Forget it, she could only find the 4S shop. It was estimated that she wouldn't be able to go home for a while tonight. Humph, what was the point of going home? Anyway, Song Xiong wouldn't come here to look for her for the next 2 days. Just as she was about to call the 4S shop, Xiong Zhozhou drove to the side of her car, rolled down the window, and asked politely, "What's wrong, beauty? Do you need my help? I think your car can't go, right?" The woman who had not made the call turned around to look at Xiong Zhozhou. He was handsome, fair, and had a masculine aura. Furthermore, Xiong Zhozhou drove Fu Tian's Ferrari. As the saying goes, clothes make the man. Xiong Zhozhou was good at both hardware and software. Normal girls would not be able to resist a typical tall, rich, and handsome man like him. "Handsome, can't you see? My car is broken. Can you help me? It's just a matter of helping." The other party didn't hesitate. When she saw Xiong Zhozhou, of course, she wouldn't let him go. "There are conditions." Xiong Zhozhou smiled. "You have to tell me your name, right? Otherwise, who will I ask for your phone number?" He. "You can call me Tian, The girl was called Tian Xiaotian. "Seeing you drive, I know that you must be someone who knows cars. It shouldn't be difficult for you to change the spare tire or something, right? This is a small matter." Xiong Zhozhou got out of the car and said, "But I think, you are so beautiful, you should be called Tianxin." Ha ha ha. As he said that, Xiong Zhou pretended to squat down and look at the tire of the car. He pretended to be surprised and said, "Oh, someone did this deliberately. Did you offend someone?" Tian Xiaotian sighed helplessly. "I usually don't go out. Who can I offend? My car was tampered with after I went out for a beauty treatment." Xiong Zhou didn't forget to flirt. He sniffed and said, "No wonder it smells so good." But before Tian Xiaotian could speak, he changed the topic. This was called loosening the reins only to grasp them better. "Since you know that I know cars, then I have to say a few words. It's a car worth more than $1 million, and the seats are not ventilated. The maximum speed can't even go up to 200 kilometers per hour. It's a 6-cylinder supercharged engine. It's just a fool Huaxia's nouveau riche. In the United States, it's just at the level of a Harvard." "No, you can't say that. The domestically produced Harvard is still leading in sales. The Land Rover went bankrupt and was sold to India. This. I only have 2 words, hee. Tian Xiaotian didn't know much about cars, but she wanted this car because she knew that the nouveau riche liked Land Rovers. Now that Xiong Zhou said that, she didn't want to drive it anymore. "Ah! This car is as bad as you said." No, I didn't mean that. The car is indeed not bad, but the price is a bit of a scam." Xiong Zhou said, "The car monopoly now is already a scam. I don't know how the country is suppressing it. There seems to be no movement." As he said that, Xiong Zhou took out the spare tire from the trunk. After putting down the tire, Xiong Zhou took off his jacket and threw it to Tian Xiaotian. "Let me help you change it. If you ask me what my name is, I'm called Lei Feng." Tian Xiaotian was amused by Xiong Zhou. Her unhappiness was swept away. Women were like that. Their expressions changed faster than flipping a book. As long as someone coaxed them well, they would be obedient and easy to order around. Xiong Zhou was confident that he could win this girl over after changing the tire. This was too easy for him. Chapter 1401. Xiong Zhou did not disappoint Su Yun. He used the shortest amount of time to obtain the information that Su Yun needed the most. Tian Xiaotian said that Song Xiongxiong had somehow brought a foreigner home the day before yesterday. Furthermore, he was very respectful to the foreigner and took care of his food and lodging. He even vacated his villa in a place with good feng shui and let the foreigner stay there. From that day onwards, she did not see Song Xiongxiong again. Every time she looked for him, he was busy. This matter was too strange. The day before yesterday was when Boss Yu of the Yu Corporation got into trouble. Thinking about it this way, Song Xiongxiong's disdain for the foreigner increased. Tian Xiaotian had always felt that this matter was definitely a big business for Song Xiongxiong. Otherwise, he would definitely not be so concerned about it. His attitude towards the foreigner was definitely something she had never seen before. One had to know that with Song Xiongxiong's current status, it was rare for him to be so submissive to others. If the foreigner could make him lower himself to such an extent, it must be because of a huge project that could make him earn an amount of money that even he would be tempted by. That was probably why he was behaving in such a manner. In Tian Xiaotian's eyes, this was definitely the information that Xiong Zhou wanted the most. If you can disrupt his business with the foreigner, you will definitely make him suffer greatly. I guarantee it. Xiong Zhou got the information that he wanted. Although there were some discrepancies, it was definitely a clue. Tianqin, you are really an ingrate. Song Xiongxiong has been taking care of you for a while. How can you betray him just like that? How can I believe you? Zhou, what do you mean by this? Tian Xiaotian said, I did all of this for you. If it wasn't for you, how could I tell you everything? Can't you see that I'm sincere to you? How can you say that about me? It hurts my feelings. Since ancient times, our ancestors have said that prostitutes are heartless and actors are disloyal. Xiong Zhou said, I really don't dare to believe your feelings. Today, you can betray Song Xiongxiong for me. Tomorrow, you can betray me for someone else. I'm sorry. Don't blame me for not trusting you. If I were to tell you anything else, I would be lying to you. Telling you the truth is a form of respect. When Tian Xiaotian heard this, her expression changed. You bastard, you bastard. How dare you treat me like this? You're messing with me. All those things you told me about love, they're all bullshit. It was all fake. You approached me on purpose, didn't you? If you say that, then it really hurts my heart. Although I'm not a good person in your eyes now. But it's not that despicable. Xiong Zhou didn't admit it. Otherwise, it would be a big blow to the girl. It was impossible not to suspect Song Xiongxiong. Once he used his relationship with the police, it would inevitably alert the enemy. Su Yun finally decided that he couldn't do this. He had to use some unusual means. Otherwise, it would be difficult for Song Xiongxiong to comply. Song Dong was Song Xiongxiong's only son, the future heir of the Song family. Although Song Xiongxiong also doted on his 3 nephews, in the end, everything in the Song family had to be left to his own son. Therefore, his son was the treasure in his hands. If Su Yun wanted to meet Song Xiongxiong without alerting the enemy, he was afraid that he really had to use his son. Now was an unusual situation. If he used such an unusual method, he hoped that the higher-ups would understand. After all, it was impossible for him, Su Yun, to really kidnap someone. Little Tian, help me do something. Make an appointment with Song Dong. Let's have a meal together and chat. Su Yun, it shouldn't be difficult to let his father come to see him, right? Brother Yun, aren't you afraid that your organization will punish you? Otherwise, let me be the mastermind of this matter. If something happens, I will take responsibility. My father will definitely not let me take responsibility. He will definitely settle this matter for me. Fu Tian said, Really, Brother Yun? What you did is a crime, no matter what your purpose is. Su Yun, I am different from you. What I did is at most a violation of the rules. Even if someone wants to punish me, it will be a matter in the army. It won't be anyone else's turn. Naturally, there will be someone to protect me. Even if I am punished, so what? As long as the matter can be solved, the punishment will be the punishment. You just need to contact them. Leave the rest to me. Even though Fu Tian and Song Dong were usually at odds with each other, neither of them would reject the other if they asked to meet up. Their mentality was very simple. If they didn't come, it would seem that they were afraid of the other party. Therefore, it was necessary for him to come. After Fu Tian arranged the place and time, he went with Su Yun. When Song Dong arrived, Su Yun went straight to the point. Call your father and ask him to come. Otherwise, don't go back. Song Dong's face changed. He looked at Fu Tian and asked, Fu Tian, what do you mean? You asked to meet me. What does it have to do with my father? What do you mean? Do you want to play dirty? If I wanted to play dirty, I would have tied you up long ago. Fu Tian said, Don't waste time. Do as my brother says. If he wants to ask your father something, you should obediently call home. Don't blame me for not reminding you. If you don't cooperate, don't blame my brother for making you suffer. Chapter 1402. Fu Tian. F*CKU. You're F*King Awesome. Are you trying to kidnap me? Song Dong became anxious when he heard this. We've been fighting for so many years, but no one has involved outsiders. What? Now that you've acknowledged an awesome elder brother, you want to play tricks with me, right? Okay. Then let's see who can outplay who. I, Song Dong, will put my words here. I don't believe that you really dare to do anything to me. If you're ruthless enough, you can take my life today and let me see. In the face of Song Dong's provocation, Fu Tian really couldn't do anything about it. Song Dong was right. The two of them quarreled on a daily basis because of their personal grudges. It wasn't a big deal. Whoever tricked the other would only damage the other party's face and wallet. If they wanted to kill each other, it wouldn't be a deep grudge. At most, it was just a small matter. Now that Song Dong had slapped his face, Fu Tian was also in the wrong. He did scheme against Song Dong, and this matter also involved Su Yun. Don't make a fuss. It's just a trivial matter. Do you have to make it sound like it's nothing? I brought you here today. Whether you're convinced or not, you have to do as I say. There's no room for discussion. Song Dong, let's make it clear. We're not buddies. Don't provoke me with words. If I'm anxious, I really dare to make a move. Make a move? Make a move and let me see. Song Dong said, Fu Tian, I'm just bluffing. You can't be arrogant for more than a few days. In the future, Yanjing City will definitely be dominated by my family. When your old man asks my family to do things for him, let's see if you still dare to pretend in front of me. Your family will be the dominant one? What are you daydreaming about at night? Fu Tian snorted in disdain. If that day really comes, I'm really looking forward to it. I'll see how you're going to squander all of your old man's assets. When that time comes, your old man might be so angry that he'll kick his leg. Pa! Song Dong slammed the table anxiously. This guy really didn't feel the slightest sense of danger from being tied up. It couldn't be helped. After all, Fu Tian had been familiar with him for so many years. When Song Dong saw Fu Tian, he wasn't afraid at all. It was just a quarrel between them. Song Dong didn't take it to heart at all, nor did he take it seriously. Su Yun realized that if he really wanted to make this kid panic, then it would be best to use some tricks. First, he would send Fu Tian away and let this kid know what fear was. Little Tian, there's nothing for you to do here. You can leave first, Su Yun said indifferently. As for the rest of the matter, let me and young Master Song slowly discuss it. Brother Yun, this grandson is stubborn. I'll stay and help you. Fu Tian said, if he really doesn't call his father and ask him to come, then we'll think of other ways. We can't hang a dead pig like him who isn't afraid of boiling water. Su Yun smiled slightly. You can rest assured that I have a way to make him do what I want. It's just that you're here, so it's inconvenient for me to do it. You can leave now. Even if this kid dies here, it has nothing to do with you. It's all my doing. Hearing Su Yun's words, Fu Tian was a little confused, let alone Song Dong. Song Dong was stunned. What did this mean? Threatening him? If it was a threat, he really wouldn't fall for it. But if it was Fu Tian who said this, he believed that it was just a threat. Fu Tian wouldn't dare to do that. But when it came from this person's mouth, Song Dong really felt a little scared. Fu Tian, even if you leave, if something happens to me, it's also related to you. You lied to me to come here. You're an accomplice. Song Dong was a little anxious. This usual opponent had now become his source of security. You can't go. You stay here. Su Yun glared at him fiercely. This has nothing to do with Fu Tian. If you insist, then don't blame me for not letting you live. Young Master Song, I'm not fooling around with you. Be careful, do you hear me? Fu Tian was frightened by Su Yun's attitude. Looking at Su Yun's posture and listening to Su Yun's tone, it was full of murderous intent. This can't be serious, right? Even Fu Tian was a little dumbfounded. Song Dong was even more uncertain. Song Dong swallowed a big mouthful of saliva. He told himself over and over again that the other party didn't dare to do anything to him. The other party didn't dare to do anything to him. He was just scaring him. Why aren't you leaving? Su Yun looked back at Fu Tian. Go and do your own things. I will clean up this matter for you. I won't let you be implicated. Fu Tian didn't know how to answer Su Yun's words. He felt that Su Yun seemed to have changed into a different person. If this continued, he would be scared. Is he really going to kill Song Dong? I got it. Fu Tian said, Brother Yun, then I'll go first. If you need me to do anything, just tell me directly. I'll go back first. In the end, Fu Tian tentatively asked Su Yun if he was really going to leave. He was a little flustered. Let's go back. Su Yun's answer to him was too certain. It was obvious that he was serious about this. Fu Tian took a deep breath. He could only nod obediently and leave. As soon as Fu Tian left, Song Dong lost his temper. He was flustered. Although Fu Tian didn't get along with him, he was an acquaintance after all. Now, the only acquaintance left. There was only a guy with murderous intent glaring at him. This made him collapse. Although Song Dong had seen the world, he had never encountered such a situation. You better not touch me. Do you know who I am? Do you know who my father is? Song Dong looked at Su Yun nervously as if he was afraid that he would be swallowed by him. If you dare to touch me, I guarantee that you won't be able to escape from Yanjing. Do you believe me? Su Yun didn't say anything and directly slapped him. This slap used 30% of his strength. Song Dong didn't even have time to react. His face was swollen like a steamed bun in an instant. This slap was so sudden that it was completely out of Song Dong's expectations. How could he hit someone just like that? He didn't give him any mental preparation at all. This guy was too unusual. I did touch you. What can you do? Su Yun ignored Song Dong's ridiculous threat. Don't say that your father's surname is Song. Even if his surname is Li, I wouldn't be afraid. You listen to him clearly. From now on, if you don't want to be slapped, then do as I say. Do whatever I say. Song Dong was obviously stunned by this slap. According to his personality, his usual reaction would be to fly into a rage and immediately fight with Su Yun. But now, he looked at Su Yun with a blank face. He was really afraid that the other party would slap him again. This was too ruthless, really too ruthless. It was definitely more than 100 times stronger than the strength of his father's slap. Song Dong's swollen face was tingling with pain. He realized that the other party was serious now and wouldn't joke with him anymore. Why do you want to find my father? If you have something, you can find him directly. It's useless for you to bring me here. If I find him directly, I'm afraid he won't see me. Su Yun smiled slightly. If it wasn't because he was afraid of alerting the enemy, he wouldn't have to trouble him. This was the same as taking off one's pants to fart. There was an extra procedure. But there was no other way. In order not to alert the main character of this matter, Su Yun had to take off one's pants to fart. You can call your father and tell him to come here. Song Dong said, It's useless. My father is very annoyed and hates me. He won't listen to anything I say. If you use me to threaten him, it's useless. He's worried that no one will kill me. At least he can give birth to a child. Song Dong wasn't a person who accepted his fate. So, you're useless? Su Yun said. Song Dong nodded vigorously. Yes, I'm really useless. I'm telling the truth. You have to believe me. Let me go, okay? Since you're useless, then I can only kill you. Su Yun, I won't let a useless person leave here alive. As for your father, I'll think of another way. After that, Su Yun directly took out a sharp tactical dagger from his back and directly slashed at Song Dong's neck. Song Dong was scared and quickly begged for mercy. Big brother, I'm wrong. I'll call right away. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Right away. Don't kill me. You just want me to cheat my father. Okay, I'll cheat. Chapter 1403. Song Xiangxiong was one of the top figures in Yanjing, but who would have thought that he would give birth to such a good-for-nothing? If Song Xiangxiong heard this today, who knows what he would think? At the very least, he would have to slap himself 20 times and ask himself how he had educated him to produce such a piece of trash. In ancient times, it was said that a tiger father wouldn't have a dog son. There were many stories of heroic sons and heroic fathers. There were only a few people like Lua Do who lost his father's generation. But now, there were too many stories of a tiger father being a dog son. How many fathers were cheated by their sons? There were many on the news. Since Song Dong-hui agreed so readily, he must have been someone who had cheated his father many times. As long as you don't hit me again, I'll do whatever you want me to do. If you want anything, just tell my father and he'll definitely agree to it. Didn't you say that your father didn't want to bother with you? Didn't he already annoyed you to death and didn't want you anymore? Su-yun, I won't keep you. If I keep you around to play these tricks, I really can't guard against it. I'll just give you a quick death. It'll save everyone a lot of trouble. No. No, no, no. It's not like that. I'm his only son, he definitely won't let anything happen to me. If you don't kill me, we can talk about anything. If you really kill me, then this matter will be big. Song Dong quickly begged for mercy. I really won't play tricks with you, big brother. Don't kill me. Su-yun put the tip of the knife on Song Dong's neck. Brat, do you know what I hate the most? I hate people threatening me the most. You said that if I really kill you, then this matter will be big. I want to see how big this matter will be. I've heard that Song Xiong has some tricks up his sleeve and is also a ruthless person. I really want to see what kind of behavior he will do if his son is killed. Hee, I'm not afraid of him taking revenge on me, I'm just afraid that he won't do anything. Every injustice has its perpetrator, big brother, big brother. You're looking for my father, not me. Don't make an example out of me. Song Dong almost knelt down and kowtowed to Su-yun. If it weren't for the knife at his throat, he would have knelt down and kowtowed to Su-yun. I'll call my dad right now. Please, give me a chance. If I play any tricks, just kill me. I'll listen to everything you say. Please spare my life. Su-yun nodded. All right, I'll give you a chance. Remember, you only have one chance. Don't disappoint me. I'm not that patient. Good. Song Dong immediately took out his phone and was ready to ask his father for help and let his father pay for him. This wasn't a joke. He didn't want to die. If he died, who would spend the wealth his father had accumulated? He couldn't possibly distribute all the wealth, right? Wait a minute. Su-yun blocked the phone in Song Dong's hand with a knife. Listen to me first. It won't be too late for you to make the call. Big brother, I'll do whatever you say. I'll tell Song Xiong whatever you want me to say. Even if you want him to exchange half of his empire for me, I'll definitely tell him. If he doesn't give it, I'll die. Song Dong was determined to kill his father. What was the use of raising such a son? Su-yun shook his head. I don't care about your family's money. Don't tell your father that I kidnapped you. Just tell him the place and say that you want to treat him to a midnight snack to express your gratitude for raising him for so many years. Song Dong was embarrassed when he heard this. Big brother, you don't know the situation in our family. Since my parents didn't get along, my father and I can't pee in the same pot. Whatever he says, I'll do it. If I don't want to do something, he always forces me to do it. We're born enemies. Now you want me to call him and say that I want to treat him to a meal? He must think that I don't have good intentions and won't come. I'm just telling the truth. You can rest assured that he won't call the police. Su-yun also knew that he wouldn't call the police. If Boss Yu's death had something to do with him, he wouldn't wait to avoid the police. Just say what I want you to say. Why do you have so much nonsense to say? I'm also thinking for you. Big brother, if you really think this is okay, then I'll listen to you. I'll listen to you. I'll say that I'll treat him to a midnight snack. If he doesn't believe me or doesn't come, I'll say it first. Then it's none of my business. You have to let me go. Song Dong said. Su-yun glared at him. If you talk to me about so many conditions, then I'll follow the rules and chop off 2 of your fingers as a souvenir. No, I don't have any conditions. I'll call. Song Dong swallowed his saliva again and again. Who was this guy? How could his words be so scary? Especially when he stared at him. He didn't even dare to have the slightest thought of disobeying him. It was too scary. Trembling in fear, Song Dong picked up his mobile phone and quickly dialed his father's number. Song Xiongxiong received a call from his son at this time. Of course, he wouldn't think that it was a good thing. Either his son caused a big trouble that he couldn't solve, or he was caught looking for a girl in a nightclub at this time, and his immediate family members were needed to ransom him. If it weren't for these two conditions, he wouldn't believe that his son would call him at this time. "Dad, this is Little Dong. Where are you? Are you busy?" Song Dong tried to make his voice sound less trembling because Su Yun didn't want that effect. He wanted the normal communication between father and son on the phone. "Do you have time?" "No." Song Xiongxiong rejected his son without even thinking about it. "If you've caused any trouble, just say it. Don't dawdle with your old man. I still have things to do, and I don't have time to waste with you." Song Dong was quite unhappy when he heard that. "You see, you are impatient before I even say a few words. How do you know that I am in trouble? Don't be so ungrateful. I found a good place today. Come, I will treat you to supper. Just the two of us." "Huh?" Song Xiongxiong was really stunned. Could it be that the sun rose from the northwest today? Or did his son's head get hit by the door, and he became sensible? Something's not right. Something's not right. There's something fishy about this. Song Xiongxiong snorted. "Boy, what do you want? Just say it. I don't have time to look for you. Say it on the phone." "Dad, you don't trust your son at all. I just want to treat you to supper, and we can chat." "Well, if you don't come, then forget it." Song Dong said, "Just think of it as my unrequited love. You can go wherever you want. I won't contact you in the future." Hearing that Song Dong was about to hang up, Song Xiongxiong couldn't help but say, "Wait a minute. Where are you? Are you telling the truth? You just want to have supper with me and chat? Don't you want me to clean up your mess?" "That's natural." Song Dong said, "You can come or not. I will send you the address on your mobile phone. If you think that we still have something to talk about, then come. If you don't, then forget it. You don't have a son like me in the future." After that, Song Dong hung up the phone directly. "Big brother, you can rest assured. My dad will definitely come after listening to me." After Song Dong hung up the phone, he nodded and bowed to Su Yun. Then, he forwarded the address message sent by Fu Tian to his father, Song Xiongxiong. Song Xiongxiong felt that it was really strange. Was his son possessed today? He actually wanted to treat him to supper. This was the first time in his life. He had to go. Regardless of whether he was looking for him to ask for money or to change his car or house, he would go there first. The days when the father and son ate supper, drank, and chatted together were really the days that Song Xiongxiong yearned for even in his dreams. Unfortunately, his son was unreliable. Otherwise, if he had a capable son to help him take care of the family affairs every day, the father and son eating supper together wouldn't be as luxurious as it was now. Chapter 1404. Big Brother, you can rest assured. My father is a man who is open to force but not persuasion. If I talk to him humbly, he will definitely think that I have something to ask him. He will definitely not come. If I say so, he will come instead. Song Dong explained why he hung up the phone so suddenly. "I promise. I will give you time. If your father doesn't come within an hour, then don't blame me." Su Yun smiled slightly. At that time, blame your father for being heartless. Song Dong kept swallowing his saliva. He was really not sure in his heart. Although he believed that if he took the initiative to invite his father would definitely not miss such an opportunity. After all, they really hadn't eaten and chatted alone for a long time. This was also a temptation for his father. After all, no matter how disappointing his son was, his father would not give up. Even if he was Lu Adu, his father would definitely find a way to support him. But then again, which of the things he did on weekdays didn't give his father a headache and a lot of trouble? Which of them didn't take his father's effort to get done? Which of them didn't disgrace the Song family? Just thinking about these things, as the head of the Song family, he would definitely want to slap him 123 times in exasperation for failing to live up to his expectations. Can he come today? Alas, Song Dong regretted hanging up the phone so early. He was absolutely in a dilemma now. When he hung up the phone just now, it was time to be cool, but Su Yun suspected that he was playing tricks. The probability that his father would come was only 50 to 60%. If he really didn't come, Su Yun would definitely think that he was playing tricks and would definitely not let him have a good end. If he called his father again, then sorry, with Song Xiongxiong's character, he would definitely know that he had some tricks up his sleeve. He didn't sincerely invite him to have supper. In that case, he would definitely not come. What should he do? Song Dong had a big headache. Why did the damn Fu Tian help this guy to trap him? Why did Su Yun look for his father? These were the doubts in Song Dong's heart. These questions could only be answered after the old man arrived. Thinking of this, Song Dong sent another message to his father. I'm not kidding. If you don't come to see me today, it's hard to say if you'll see me tomorrow. After editing it, Song Dong thought about it again and again before sending it out. He still pinned his hopes on his father. Because he was worried that Su Yun would check his phone, Song Dong didn't dare to say that he was being controlled. As for whether his father could comprehend this matter, that would depend on his own ability. A phone call and a text message. Song Dong felt that he was sincere enough. If that old thing was really his biological father, he should give him face and not leave him here. Humph, he doesn't care if his father has an illegitimate son or not. He is the eldest son and eldest grandson of the Song family. With the mentality of gambling with his life, Song Dong relaxed a little. Big brother, what's your relationship with Fu Tian? He seems to be very obedient to you. Do you have something on him? You don't even know whether you're dead or alive. Why are you asking about it now? Su Yun frowned. My relationship with him, it doesn't make any difference whether you know it or not. I'm the only one who invited you here today. Fu Tian is also someone who is being used by me. If you want to use this matter to sue him or trick him, I advise you to give up. Song Dong wanted to ask why, but he didn't dare to ask. This matter couldn't be said. He didn't want to look for trouble. If he talked too much, he would be slapped again. He really couldn't afford this big slap. But he didn't expect that before he asked. Su Yun said, if your father came, he wouldn't dare to let you make this matter public. If your father didn't come, then I'm sorry, you wouldn't have a chance to make it public. In fact, you should thank Fu Tian. You didn't suffer any difficulties here because of him. If it weren't for him, would you be able to sit here and talk to me so comfortably? You should be burning incense. Hee. Then he's very kind. Song Dong's words were somewhat sarcastic. If he was kind, he wouldn't have deceived him. But when he thought about it, he felt ridiculous. They weren't buddies. Why should he be kind to him? When Su Yun wanted to be ruthless to Song Dong, Fu Tian also tried to say some good words. This behavior was already very righteous for the relationship between Song Dong and Fu Tian. If the one who was tied up was Fu Tian, Song Dong wouldn't say anything good for him. Thinking of this, Song Dong really admired Fu Tian's breadth of mind. He didn't expect Fu Tian, this guy, to be a bit interesting. If it weren't for the conflict between them when they were young, maybe they could have become friends. It wouldn't be like now, where the first line of playboys in Yanjing City were directly divided into two factions. One faction was playing with Fu Tian and the other faction was playing with the four Song brothers. Yanjing City was a palm-sized place. Everyone saw each other all day long. Although it added excitement to their lives, it also made them feel a bit regretful. Song Dong also admitted that he was slightly inferior in terms of the number of people in these two factions. But he just didn't want to admit defeat to Fu Tian. The two grew up fighting, and in terms of winning and losing, he also admitted that he wasn't as good as Fu Tian. Unknowingly, Song Dong had been thinking about these things for 40 minutes. When he came back to his senses and realized that his father hadn't come yet, he panicked a bit. But Su Yun was still sitting next to him calmly, as if nothing had happened. It had been 40 minutes, and there was still no movement. This person's mental strength was really different from ordinary people. Big brother, don't worry, I believe he'll be here soon. You know the traffic in Yanjing, it's too congested. Song Dong tried to find a way out for himself first. If no one came for an hour, he would drag it out for a minute. Every minute he dragged it out meant an extra minute of hope. Why don't we extend the time limit a little? What's the hurry? There's still 20 minutes. Su Yun, when men talk, every word is a nail. If we say an hour, it's an hour. There's no need to extend the time. You'd better pray that your father can come, don't think about anything else. Song Dong really couldn't sit still. He was no longer as calm as before. As time passed, he felt like he was sitting on pins and needles. He was cursing his father, Song Xiongxiong, in his heart. 55 minutes had passed. When Song Dong's psychological endurance had reached the limit, the father that he loved and hated finally appeared. When Song Dong heard the inquiry from outside the single room, he stood up excitedly, but Su Yun's gaze made him sit down again obediently. The door of the single room was pushed open, and Song Xiongxiong finally appeared in Su Yun's field of vision. When Song Xiongxiong saw his son sitting with a strange young man, he seemed to realize that something was wrong. Oh, there's a friend here. Little Dong, didn't you say that we can talk alone? Song Xiongxiong said faintly, since there's a friend here, then I'll let your brother Fei come in and help pour tea. Boss Song, there's no need to call a bodyguard. Su Yun smiled slightly and interrupted his words. We're talking to each other, don't be so polite. As he spoke, Su Yun had already crushed a teacup in his hand. All of this was done in front of Song Xiongxiong. Song Xiongxiong could obviously see what his purpose was. Song Xiongxiong knew that his son was coerced, and the strange and familiar young man in front of him was definitely not someone to be trifled with. Friend, since we're on the same side, then let's talk nicely. Hey, little Dong, pour tea. Chapter 1405. Dad, let me put down the words for you first. Today, I didn't cheat you. You cheated me. Song Dong said, they specifically asked to see you. It has nothing to do with me. I am here today because of you. You should think about yourself. If there is nothing else, then I will leave first. I still have things to do. Looking at his son's swollen face, Song Xiongxiong was obviously angry and distressed. He was distressed because of the slap on his son's face. It hurt his son's body, but it hurt his father's heart. He was angry because of his son's attitude. He just arrived, and he wanted to leave with a straight face. He didn't put him in his eyes at all. It was simply nonsense. Although he didn't come today to settle things for him, since he was here, he couldn't just ignore it. You sit down. Tell me what the hell is going on. Song Xiongxiong's tone was a little angry. If you make any trouble, I am your father. I can't just ignore you. But if someone wants to bully you, then they have to ask me first if I am willing to do it. Do you hear me clearly? Don't be a fool all day long. Song Dong was also angry when he heard this. He slapped the table and said, I'm not serious? You are. What do you want me to say? I don't know what is going on. They asked me to come here to invite you here. It has nothing to do with me. I know you used some underhanded means to offend someone. I was dragged here to be slapped for nothing. You still want me to say it? What do you want me to say? Song Xiongxiong turned around and glanced at Su Yun. His gaze was fierce. However, his glare was something that most people would be afraid of. After all, the phrase rich and overbearing had existed since ancient times. Being rich wasn't just about being willful, it was also about being arrogant. Song Xiongxiong had developed this habit of being high and mighty over the years. He liked to use this kind of condescending attitude and gaze to look at others. But he chose the wrong opponent today. Today's opponent wasn't a simple person. His opponent today was Su Yun. Could Su Yun care about his gaze? Even if Master One glare was there, Su Yun would still ignore him. Therefore, Song Xiongxiong's glare attack was completely ineffective. Your son is right. The person I'm looking for today is you. It has nothing to do with him. Boss Song, you can choose to let him go or let him stay. Su Yun said indifferently. However, I still suggest that you let him go. After all, he's your son. You don't want your son to know about the shameful things you've done, right? Song Xiongxiong's brows furrowed tightly. What did this guy mean? What was the purpose of telling him all this to trick him into coming to this place? You really don't have to worry about that. It's not like we don't know about the shameful things he did. Song Dong seemed to look down on his father. He got a female university student pregnant and spent 200,000 yuan to settle the matter. What else can't he do? If that's the case, then I really want to stay and listen to what kind of shameful things he's done. Song Xiongxiong really wanted to give his prodigal son a tight slap. No matter what, he was his father after all. This little bastard actually dared to talk about him like this. He simply didn't put him in his eyes. Thinking about it, other than when Song Dong was asking for money, when did he ever put him, his father, in his eyes? Song Dong disdained everything he did. This was something that everyone in the Song family knew. It wasn't a secret at all. It was mainly in front of an outsider today that Song Xiongxiong really couldn't accept his son's attitude. But now his son's face was still swollen. He couldn't slap him no matter what. He wondered if his son had a problem with his brain. Someone else hit him, and as his father, he came to help him. He actually didn't speak up for him. He even helped an outsider to bully his own father. Such a brainless son, I'm afraid you can't find a second one in the world, right? Humph, what a good son, what a wonderful son. Song Xiongxiong was puzzled. What sin did he commit in his previous life? God gave him such a creditor to collect debts from him. Even if this son didn't live up to expectations, he still had to raise him for a lifetime. In Huaxia, there was probably no father who didn't want their son to succeed. It could even be said that all of them wanted their son to be the most promising. And that kind of desire was unsatisfied. Even if their son was outstanding enough, there would still be a portion of fathers who would be dissatisfied. They would ask for better and feel that their son still didn't do enough. It still couldn't achieve the effect he wanted. They all hated iron for not becoming steel. Now, with the huge pressure of social competition, they had already begun to hate iron for not becoming silver, hate silver for not becoming gold. Even if the son became gold, the father still felt that he didn't become a diamond. He would still be dissatisfied. This was also a kind of greed. Song Xiongxiong wasn't greedy. He just wanted his son to be like iron. He didn't want his son to be like a pile of scrap metal. Trash. Trash. Friend, if you have something to talk to me about, then talk to me. This matter has nothing to do with my son. If you talk about him, I won't agree to this. Song Xiongxiong said, if you have something to say, just say it. I still have things to do. I don't have time to waste with you. If you don't agree, what can you do to me? Big Boss Song, don't talk to me like I'm asking you to give me food to eat. I have a bad temper. Once I get angry, I can do anything. Su Yun smiled slightly. If we hurt the harmony between us, it won't do you any good. Whether you believe it or not, I'll say it here today. Song Xiongxiong really didn't think that a young man from Yanjing who knew his identity would dare to talk to him like this. This courage was really not small. Unfortunately, he didn't appreciate it. Young man, I think you should first learn what it means to be low-key. As an elder, I have the obligation to tell you what to do. First of all, you should be humble when talking to elders. This is called being low-key. Su Yun waved his hand. I can't be associated with an elder like Boss Song. Moreover, I don't need to be low-key in front of you. I don't want to beat around the bush with you, so I'll get straight to the point. Shouldn't you give me an explanation about Boss Yu's matter? Song Xiongxiong was startled when he heard this. He stared at Su Yun. You're from the Yu family? Why haven't I seen you before? I'm not. Su Yun shook his head. Then why are you so nosy? Song Xiongxiong was anxious. Moreover, what does Boss Yu's death have to do with me? Even if it has something to do with it, it's not up to you to interrogate me. There's the police, understand? Huaxia is a society ruled by law. Young man, reflect on yourself properly. Oh, you also know that Huaxia is a society ruled by law. Su Yun smiled disdainfully, yet you still knowingly broke the law. It seems that Boss Song is going to be heavily sentenced. When Song Dong heard this, he directly pointed the spearhead at his father. Dad, is what he said true? Uncle Yu's death was caused by you? You have nothing to do with it. You clearly know that I like Uncle Yu's daughter. Don't make a fuss. Song Xiongxiong obviously wouldn't admit it. He glared fiercely at Song Dong. This has nothing to do with you. Don't listen to an outsider's nonsense. Go home immediately. As he spoke, Song Xiongxiong shouted outside the door, Xiaofei, take Song Dong away. Lock him up at home. Without my orders, no one is allowed to let him leave. From now on, you're responsible for supervising him 24 hours a day. A young man walked in and swiftly said yes. Then, he wanted to take Song Dong away. No matter how Song Dong resisted and struggled, the young man didn't give him a chance to struggle. It seemed that he was quite strong. Chapter 1406. Su Yun took a sip of tea, and Song Dong's struggling voice gradually disappeared. He smiled and said, I like to talk to people like Boss Song. You know very well that it is not a good thing to let your child know about this. Song Xiongxiong's gaze never left Su Yun. Who exactly are you? Since we've made things clear, then tell me. Su Yun said, since I can find Boss Song by name, it means that I know everything that I need to know. Including the identity of the foreigner that you came into contact with, I know everything. If Boss Song cooperates, we might be able to make up for your mistakes. If I can help it, I will not be calculative with you. However, if Boss Song does not cooperate, then I am afraid that it will be a little troublesome. Are you threatening me? Song Xiongxiong snorted and said, I don't know what you are talking about. Also, I don't believe your bullshit about knowing everything. Let me tell you, I didn't do anything. Even if I did, if you really have enough evidence, do you still need to talk nonsense with me? We are all adults, and we all understand the logic of this matter. Su Yun nodded and said, in that case, Boss Song does not believe that I know everything? Then there is nothing for us to talk about? Of course there is nothing for us to talk about. Song Xiongxiong replied. Actually, he was also flustered. Who would feel at ease if this matter were to happen to them? After all, he was the one who did it. Even if he did not admit it, the truth was the truth, and it could not be changed. No matter how calm Song Xiongxiong was, he could not completely hide the fear in his heart. After all, the person that he had targeted this time was not an ordinary person, but the person in charge of the U Corporation. Against such a person, anyone who dared to target him, even if it was Song Xiongxiong, would definitely be severely punished. This was something that was beyond doubt. Therefore, Song Xiongxiong was flustered. He dared to target Boss Yu because he believed that the person would not fail this time. However, he did not expect that in such a short period of time, someone would come knocking on his door. Song Xiongxiong could not believe this. He was sure that the other party was bluffing him, and he would definitely not admit it. He didn't believe that as long as he insisted that this matter had nothing to do with him, others would be able to force him to admit it. Even if he found the two foreigners, Song Xiongxiong could still clear his name. If he couldn't even do such a small thing, then his years in Beijing would have been in vain. As long as he didn't admit it, even the heavens couldn't do anything to him. It was that simple. Song Xiongxiong emphasized to himself again in his heart, telling himself that this kid in front of him could not do anything to him. Little brother, since we can sit here and talk today, it means that there is fate between us. Song Xiongxiong used his usual method to solve the problem. Let me make it clear first. This matter definitely has nothing to do with me, but since you suspect me, I don't want to cause trouble for myself. I think if I don't do something, you won't let go. I have an idea, but I don't know if you're interested in hearing it. Su Yun shook his head. To be honest, no. Yes or no, listen to me first. Song Xiongxiong said faintly, I don't care about those melons and dates. If you think this matter can be settled with money, you can name a price. I'll just treat it as spending money to buy peace of mind and not worry. This should be fine, right? Name a price? Boss Song, you want to spend money to keep your mouth shut. You still say that this matter has nothing to do with you? Su Yun smiled slightly. This old fox slapped his own face. It really has nothing to do with me. Song Xiongxiong was still stubborn. I said, I just don't want to cause trouble for myself. Just name a price, don't talk so much nonsense. Boss Song doesn't care about those melons and dates, and I don't care either. Su Yun said directly. I'm not interested in talking about this matter. Song Xiongxiong was a little embarrassed, but in order to not cause trouble for himself, he still suppressed the anger in his heart. You held my son hostage, and now you want to threaten me. If I sue you, do you know what will be your sentence? I'm familiar with Yanjing's judicial authorities. Have you thought about the consequences? Of course I thought about it, but I'm sure Boss Song won't take the initiative to look for these people now. Su Yun smiled slightly. How dare you say that I'm not familiar with them? What if they believe me and trace the matter back to you? Can you still cover it up? As he said that, Su Yun lowered his voice. I heard that. You hid some people who shouldn't have been kept in one of your villas. Boss Song, you have to think carefully. Song Xiongxiong was completely shocked. Only his confidants knew about this matter. No one knew at all. How could it be spread out? Could it be that someone among the people around him betrayed him? No. Absolutely impossible. The people around him were absolutely trustworthy. They were all people who had followed him for so many years. No one would betray him. This guy was tricking him. I've thought about it. If you think you can hire someone, then investigate me. Song Xiongxiong was a little angry. I'll tell you, so what if you have connections? In today's society, who doesn't have connections? Humph. Since you know how to use connections, then you should understand how to maintain connections. Then, let's wait and see. Let's see who can fight who. Don't blame me for being too direct. Little brother, you're so young. How can you fight with me? Do you know how many fixed assets my song group has? Su Yun nodded. I've heard a little about it. It's quite a lot. It's just that I feel that Boss Song is such a big shot. I'm quite surprised that you would make the mistake of looking down on others. Who are you scolding? Song Xiongxiong glared and thought, don't think that just because you have some ability, you can show off in front of me. If we really fight, my people outside are not to be trifled with. I'll make you suffer. If today's negotiation didn't work out, Song Xiongxiong really dared to clench his teeth and kill this kid in front of him. Wouldn't that be the end of it? What's the point of talking so much nonsense? Song Group's financial strength is indeed strong. Su Yun said lightly. But it's not like my Sky Entertainment Group can't take out some money. It's hard to say who has more fixed assets, but there's one thing for sure. Sky Entertainment Group's influence has gone international. At least, it's more famous than your Song Group in Yanjing, right? Sky Entertainment Group. Song Xiongxiong was stunned, and then came to a sudden realization. No wonder he found this fellow so familiar. So this was the young CEO of Sky Entertainment Group. The young man who could make Hollywood famous, Su Yun. Song Xiongxiong slapped his thigh. He had seen him before. On the news, this guy had donated the gold and jade garment to the National Museum. Its value was immeasurable. He really didn't lack money. If they really competed with each other, it would be a huge loss. But why was this guy fighting with him on this matter? What was the relationship between the Yu family and him? Song Xiongxiong's mind was spinning rapidly. No, this guy must not be left alive. If he was left alive, it would be a disaster. CEO Su is indeed young and promising. Song Xiongxiong said lightly. If that's the case, then I'll tell you the truth. This matter does have something to do with me, but I was forced to do it. If you really want to know the truth, then, let's talk somewhere else. Su-yun smiled faintly. Sure. As long as CEO Song is willing to talk to me, you can choose anywhere. This old fox wanted to kill him. How could Su-yun not know? Fine, since you're not going to be polite with me, then don't blame me for ruining your reputation. Su-yun didn't believe that this old fox's subordinates could do anything to him. Su-yun dared to go with him because he knew that this old fox wouldn't easily reveal anything. If he wanted to deal with him, he would definitely use his own people. Chapter 1407. Young people were young people after all. Song Xiongxiong's mouth showed a proud smile. As long as he was willing to go with him, he would not be able to control anything in his territory. At that time, he would teach him a lesson and let him know how young people should respect the old and love the young. Then let's go. Song Xiongxiong stood up directly. President Su, I believe that if we have a good talk, maybe we can become good friends. Then I will have to see Boss Song's sincerity. Su-yun also stood up. He knew that Song Xiongxiong would not tell him the hiding place of that person. If he did not show him his power, he would not easily let go. To deal with this kind of person, he had to make him completely desperate and not have a little bit of hope. Only then would he give up and make other choices. Su-yun's purpose was not to find the person who murdered the head of the U group, but to find the person who did it. Xiong Zhozhou's analysis was right. To be able to use such professional means to hurt people, if it was not a killer, then it must be Aid's secret service. Their people came to Huaxia to seek protection and work for Song Xiongxiong. They also had a very good reason. Everything was a guess, and it was all a bet. But regardless of winning or losing, Su-yun had nothing to feel sorry about. If he lost the bet and guessed wrong, he could also take down a murderer. If he won the bet and guessed right, he could give General Ade a fierce show of power. Moreover, Su-yun always had a feeling in his heart that the person behind Song Xiongxiong might be the guy who saved Christian that night. Of course, this was only Su-yun's intuition. However, Su-yun's intuition had always been very accurate, especially in the face of such things. His sense of smell was particularly sensitive. He believed that the probability of him winning the bet was definitely more than 80%. After the two of them went out, they got into their respective cars. Song Xiongxiong was careful and asked his two cars to sandwich Su-yun's car in the middle. Of course, he had to prevent Su-yun from escaping. After all, he knew too many secrets. Even if there was no evidence, keeping him alive would be a disaster. Of course, Su-yun didn't care because he didn't want to leave at all. It wasn't easy to catch up with Song Xiongxiong. How could Su-yun let him slip away in vain? Now, Su-yun really wanted to see what Boss Song's face would look like after he shed all pretense of cordiality. In Yanjing City, he was a big shot with a reputation and status. On the surface, he looked like a gentleman, but it was not certain whether he was a human or a ghost in the dark. The car sped all the way out of the city and into the suburbs of Beijing. After passing through a tunnel, the traffic gradually became sparse. Su-yun followed Song Xiongxiong's car. Song Xiongxiong was probably looking for a suitable place to kill at night. The further they were from the city, the more vigilant Su-yun became. Finally, at the dam of the reservoir in the suburbs of Beijing, Song Xiongxiong finally ordered his men to stop the car. Su-yun also stopped the car unhurriedly. At this time, he realized that Song Xiongxiong didn't only bring these few people to deal with him. In addition to the car that followed him all the way, there were a few cars that had arrived at this place in advance. When Su-yun's car stopped, there were more than 20 guys in black who pretended to be fine and surrounded Su-yun's car in the middle. The corners of Su-yun's mouth curled up into a sinister smile. Song Xiongxiong was really quite bold. He really wanted to make a move on him with just a few subordinates. It seemed like he really wouldn't give up until he reached the Yellow River and wouldn't shed tears until he saw the coffin. Boss Song. Su-yun opened the door and got out of the car. Song Xiongxiong also got out of the car. Su-yun smiled and went forward. This place is a good place. It's sparsely populated and there's no traffic. The dam of the reservoir in the suburbs of Beijing is just below us. It's also a good time for a dark and windy night. Hee, if you kill someone here, I'm afraid that even if Conan flew over from Japan, he wouldn't be able to solve this case, right? Song Xiongxiong also smiled slightly. It's great that you understand it in your heart. It saved him from beating around the bush and laid out his words. What exactly did he want? If he could solve it, then he would solve it. If he couldn't, then he could only use his own means. Boss Su, you really know how to describe things. After listening to you, I really have the feeling of killing someone in the dark and windy night. Ha ha, this feeling is really good. It's artistic, it's artistic. It's quite artistic. Then, Boss Song's intention for bringing me here seems to be very obvious. Su Yun said lightly, why, how does Boss Song want to make a move? Are you going to throw me directly into the reservoir to feed the fish? TSK, TSK, TSK. What are you saying, Boss Su? Didn't I already express my thoughts? I want to be friends with Boss Su first. Boss Su, please don't misunderstand me. Song Xiongxiong smiled slightly. How about this place? The night view in Beijing is good, right? Boss Su, I don't care what benefits you have. You must investigate the cause of Boss Yu's death. But I believe that we are all businessmen. We won't do anything without benefits. Su Yun raised his hand. Since Boss Song brought me here, there's no need to continue beating around the bush. If you're not going to tell me what I want to hear, then it's better to make a move early. It's already the middle of the night. Your brothers should be waiting to go home and sleep, right? Song Xiongxiong was stunned. This young man was really bold. Things had already reached this point, and he could still be stubborn. He had been in this society for so many years, but he had never seen a young man who was so difficult to deal with. It could be said that Song Xiongxiong still couldn't figure out what was in Su Yun's mind. And the other party seemed to have seen through him long ago. Even if he saw through him, he completely followed his arrangements. It was as if he had nothing to fear and didn't put Song Xiongxiong in his eyes at all. Boss Su, I've said what I should and shouldn't say. I've also left the good words for you. As for whether you want to listen or not, that's up to you. Song Xiongxiong said, if you think you can swagger out of here today, then, whatever you choose, it's up to you. But if you think you might not be able to walk out of here, then I'll have to advise you. As a person, take a step back and you'll be at peace. Su Yun nodded. Boss Song's words make sense. Take a step back and you'll be at peace. Since ancient times, there has been a saying that a wise man doesn't fight when the odds are against him. Like I said, Boss Su is a smart man. You'll never do anything stupid. Song Xiongxiong smiled slightly. It seems that Boss Su has accepted my suggestion. Let's take a step back and be friends. Whatever benefits there are, we'll share. You should also know that after Boss Yu's death, that piece of land with good feng shui will definitely be taken by me. I can give the best advertising space in the building to Boss Su for free for life. Boss Su, what do you think? If Song Xiongxiong took that piece of land as an investment and built the building, with the advertising space in that location, it would definitely cost him a lot of money every year. Song Xiongxiong was actually willing to take out this kind of money. It had to be said that even at this critical juncture, Song Xiongxiong still wanted to reach a common understanding with Su Yun. After all, Su Yun was the boss of Sky Entertainment Group. If he made friends with him, it wouldn't be difficult for him to ask Boss Su for two famous people to stand on the stage and support him. This might be the only reason why Song Xiongxiong didn't want to touch Su Yun. But if Su Yun was stubborn, then he would have no choice but to do something. Sky Entertainment Group's reputation has been established for a long time. We don't need your advertising space. Su Yun refused very firmly. Boss Song, stop pretending. I feel tired for you. If you want to deal with me, then do it. Su Yun. Then don't blame me for being ruthless. It's you who doesn't know what's good for you. Song Xiongxiong's patience had finally reached its limit. Since you want to fall out with me, then I'll fulfill your wish. Brothers, let's go. Let's do this cleanly today. Everyone, 100,000 yuan. Chapter 1408. Generous rewards would attract brave men. This was an unchanging principle since ancient times. Money could make the world go round, not to mention killing people. The moment Song Xiongxiong opened his mouth, more than 20 people immediately surrounded Su Yun. A few of the leaders took out the weapons they carried with them. Swords, spears, clubs, axes, halberds, and all kinds of weapons were taken out. Their machetes were shining under the moonlight, giving off a cold gleam. This old fox really didn't hold back when he said he would make a move. Su Yun sneered. He originally thought that this old thing would have some pity in his heart, but now it seemed that this was not the case. It was likely that this was not the first or second time he had done this kind of thing. Then don't blame me, Su Yun, for not giving you a chance. I'm afraid I have to make you pay for all your previous sins. Just as the 20 or so people charged at Su Yun with sabers and sticks in their hands, Su Yun took a few exquisite steps. Not only did he dodge the sabers that came slashing down from behind him, he also took the opportunity to trip a few of the people in front of him. This step was created by him recently. Su Yun even gave it a cultured name. It was called Blossoming Step by Step. As for why it was called Blossoming Steps, just look at the people who were tripped and fell to the ground. Because of Su Yun's crafty footwork, every person who was tripped and fell to the ground was completely unconscious, so basically, they all landed on their faces. Once their face hit the ground, their mouth would be full of blood and teeth would fly everywhere. The pattern of blood and teeth on the ground would be like a blooming flower. Therefore, Su Yun named it Blossoming Step by Step. This move was improved on the basis of swimming dragon steps. It allowed Su Yun to easily dodge all the attacks in the group of more than 20 people. In less than 3 minutes, there were already people who were tripped by Su Yun twice. Without exception, all the guys who had charged into the battle had their front teeth knocked out. Their mouths were full of blood, and they glared at Su Yun with bloodshot eyes. However, what made them unconvinced was that they were at a disadvantage in these 3 minutes, but they couldn't even scratch a piece of Su Yun's clothes. Not to mention Su Yun seeing blood, Su Yun's speed was so fast that even the blood of these injured people did not stain his body. This level of skill was quite high. Song Xiongxiong had already known that Su Yun was a kung fu man when he had crushed the teacup. That was why he had mobilized so many of his brothers to use the human wave tactic. But he never thought that Su Yun's ability was so great that he could actually hold on for so long in the face of so many people's attacks. In fact, he even had the upper hand and was in an invincible position. Rice bucket. A bunch of good-for-nothings. Song Xiongxiong was angry in his heart. He really expected better from them. This group of bastards, they couldn't even do such a small thing. More than 20 people, trying to catch one, and they ended up in such a sorry state. Song Xiongxiong was very angry in his heart. Did I spend so much money to raise you bunch of cowards just to let you bully honest people? You can't do anything when you encounter such a troublesome character. All of you go. Today, we must take this person down. Song Xiongxiong roared, whoever subdues this person, I will reward him with 500,000 yuan. 500,000 yuan, an average white-collar worker wouldn't be able to get this amount in a year, right? As a group of thugs, of course, they wouldn't be able to get this amount. In this society, money was easy to spend but hard to earn. Everyone knew that. The temptation of 500,000 yuan was definitely enough to double their combat power. The more than 20 people who had lost their fighting spirit after being thrown by Su Yun were instantly pumped up. 100,000 yuan was easy to get, but 500,000 yuan was not. Today, even if all the teeth in their mouths fell out, they must take this guy down. This was the mentality of this group of people. They would never give in easily. It wasn't because of Song Xiongxiong's order, but for the shiny money. For money, these people would do anything. Su Yun didn't hesitate. He knew that these people's combat power had been stimulated, so he didn't play with them anymore. The first guy who rushed up didn't see how Su Yun attacked, and he was caught. He saw Su Yun's cloud hand, pulling, pushing, and exerting force. This unlucky guy was directly pushed down the dam by Su Yun. This dam was at least a few stories high. Even if it was a reservoir, it was enough to make people suffer if they were hit head-on. Su Yun's interest had been stirred up by these guys. In a short time, several people were sent into the reservoir by Su Yun. The splashing sound of water was accompanied by wails. There were also guys who weren't good at swimming and shouted for help. However, their broken teeth were leaking, so they couldn't shout for help clearly. Seeing that more and more of his men were thrown into the reservoir, Song Xiongxiong couldn't stand it anymore. He quickly gave a look to the leader of this group of thugs. The leader saw the boss's intention and immediately took out a pistol from his back. He shouted at Su Yun, "Don't." Before the word "move" could be said, Su Yun's figure appeared in front of him. Then, the muzzle that was originally aimed at Su Yun was aimed at the gunman's head. The leader's face turned green as he looked at his arm that was folded in an almost inconceivable way. This guy in front of him wasn't human at all. It was too abnormal. He had so many brothers, but they couldn't beat him. Before the leader could continue to think, he had been sent directly into the reservoir by Su Yun to reflect. His imitation 54 was already in the hands of Su Yun. At first, there were more than 20 people, but now there were only 7 or 8 left. Moreover, the leader had been thrown into the reservoir, so the remaining people were like a plate of loose sand. Each and every one of them was trembling in fear. They didn't dare to get close to Su Yun, especially those who didn't know how to swim. They hid as far away as possible. AI. A group of trash. Song Xiongxiong's eyes widened in surprise. This Su Yun was really too good at fighting. He was too good at fighting. If he knew it would be like this, he wouldn't have let these good-for-nothings do this. He should have let the 2 agents do it. If he let the 2 agents do it, they wouldn't have fallen to this point today. Not only did this group of trash lose, but the guns in their hands were also taken away by Su Yun. Now he completely didn't have the capital to negotiate with others. If Su Yun were to be impulsive and really shoot him down... Bang dash! Just as Song Xiongxiong was still thinking about this, the gunshot sounded. Song Xiongxiong saw a deep hole in the ground in front of his feet. The bullet had drilled into the ground, leaving only a cloud of dust. Su Yun held the gun and still had the smile from the beginning. "Boss Song, tell me, if a person wants to kill you, and you seize the opportunity, what will you do? What will you do to him? Will you choose to be tolerant and take a step back, or you absolutely can't let him go and must take his life?" Song Xiongxiong swallowed a mouthful of saliva. He still couldn't believe that the person who fell was actually himself. I choose to take a step back. Everyone understands each other and understands each other. Take a step back. Take a step back. Take a step back. Su Yun suddenly stepped forward. His fingers had already locked the safety of the gun. Then, he pointed the gun at Song Xiongxiong's head. "If I had a choice, I would definitely kill that person directly. Who asked him to kill me first? Can this be forgiven? If you ask me, I can forgive anything. I can take a step back and take a step back. But this is the only thing that can't be forgiven. I can't take a step back." Song Xiongxiong, a person with such a high status, hadn't experienced this kind of horror for many years. Now that a gun was pointed at his head, his legs instantly went soft. He admitted defeat. "Boss Su, you are a great person. Give me a way out." Chapter 1409. Su Yun laughed and raised the gun. "Boss Song, you won't admit defeat in the blink of an eye, right? With your momentum just now, I'm afraid that if you don't tear me into pieces and throw me into the reservoir in the suburbs of Beijing, you won't give up. Now you want me to let you live. Do you think I won't have any conditions?" Song Xiongxiong swallowed his grievances and said, "Chairman Su, listen to me. I was forced to do that. Boss Yu's matter really has nothing to do with me. I was forced by those vicious criminals to take them in. Think about it, how could I want to get involved with a murderer? Even if I paid the murderer, I would definitely want the murderer to go as far as possible, right? How could I keep the murderer by my side? Isn't this looking for trouble for myself? I was really forced. The old fox finally relented. Su-yun realized that his gambling guess was right. So, you admit that the person you took in. You just said, they. It seems that the other party is not just one person. Boss Song, since you have already spoken, you might as well tell me more clearly. This is good for you, me, and everyone. It's 2 people. There was only one person who did it before, but he brought back another one for me yesterday. Song Xiong really didn't dare to play any tricks in the face of the black muzzle. He knew that if he didn't cooperate, what he would face wouldn't be a small disaster. They all blamed me. I had no choice. They forced me to find a place for them to hide. Looking at Su-yun's frown, Song Xiong hurriedly added an explanation. I swear, I was really forced. Boss Yu's death may be because they forced him. He was killed because he didn't comply, so I didn't dare to resist. Boss Su, you have to believe me. They are really powerful, so powerful that you can't believe it. If I don't obey them, I will end up like Boss Yu. You have to understand me. I was also forced to do it. You can't expect me to jump into the fire pit in front of me, right? If you hadn't hooked up with those people and told me that now, I would have believed you. But now, I don't believe it. Su-yun. Unless you help me take them down. Perhaps you still have a chance to explain yourself in court. Song Xiong was so anxious that he almost jumped up. I-oh, my ancestor, please spare me and give me a way out. I really want to die now. I really don't want to get involved in this muddy water, but others have come looking for me, and I can't hide from them. Boss Su, I'm begging you, don't let me get involved in this. As long as you promise me that this matter will have nothing to do with me, and you can testify for me, I'll tell you the location. You're still negotiating with me now? Boss Song, you are indeed a businessman. Su-yun smiled helplessly. I don't believe your nonsense. Who else do you think will? Did they come looking for him? Why didn't they come looking for me? Boss Su, you don't know about this. People are afraid of being famous, and pigs are afraid of being fat. In Beijing, other than Boss Yu, who else will they look for? Song Xiong replied. I am unlucky. If I don't agree to protect them, they will surely kill me like what they did to Boss Yu. After that, they will find trouble with the Fu family. Su-yun laughed. Continue to make up stories. If you have not thought of a good story, then hurry up and think. If your story is vivid enough, you might be acquitted. Maybe the Hua Xia Writers Association will recruit you and let you write a novel based on this incident. You will publish about 100,000 to 80,000 copies. My company will arrange a good screenwriter for you to adapt this novel into a movie. After 8 to 10 years, you might even get a Nobel Prize. At that time, you will be famous. Oh right. You don't lack houses in Beijing. You don't have to be like a poor author who cannot afford to buy a house if he does not get a Nobel Prize. Song Xiong smiled awkwardly. Mr. Su, you really know how to joke. With my level, how can I write a novel or make up a story? Everything I said is true. You have to be my witness. I'm not joking. Think about it. At this time, do you think I can still joke with you? Let's stop talking nonsense. Where is the person? Su-yun asked. If you really want to repent, then help me take him down. At that time, you will have atoned for your sins. Song Xiong nodded. Okay. I will cooperate. I will definitely cooperate. Boss Su, let me remind you. They are not to be trifled with. They are not ordinary people. Although you are brave, it is difficult for 2 fists to fight against 4 hands. The 2 people's skills are not below yours. My subordinates can't get close to them at all. At that time, if something happens to you, don't blame me for not reminding you. Boss Song, since you have this intention, it means that you really want to help me. Su-yun smiled. If that's the case, then I'll show some sincerity. As long as you cooperate with me to catch the 2 people hiding in one of your villas, I'll write a letter of proof for you to prove that you've made up for your mistakes. My identity is not what you know. If I say good things for you, it will be useful." Song Xiong sneered in his heart. "I don't know if your words have any effect, but I do know that if a hothead like you insists on going with me, then I'll take you with me. When the time comes and you die, don't blame me for not warning you. In that case, I will thank you first, Boss Su." Song Xiong said, "Since Boss Su has made up his mind, then I will respectfully accept. Let's go now." "Okay." Su Yun nodded. The first thing he did when he returned to the car was to turn on the GPS device in the car, and then quickly contact the Special Forces with a text message to let them track his current location. He was ready to fight a hard battle at any time. Since that guy could find and gather Christian, it was possible that he could gather others here, so Su Yun had to prepare for the worst. Even if this bone was hard to chew, Su Yun would never miss today's opportunity. The later he subdued the other party, the more confidence the other party would have. Now was the time to suppress them. As long as he caught them today and reported it to the world news tomorrow, the remaining agents in Huaxia would naturally be frustrated. Even if they hadn't fought yet, their confidence would be seriously damaged. This was the most advantageous situation for Su Yun and the others. Everyone had already moved quietly. The net had been cast for so long, and it should be time to close it today. If this matter was successful, Xiong Zhou would have made a great contribution. This guy was really a blessing. Su Yun was really lucky to have met him. Song Xiong didn't have time to pay attention to the guys who were thrown into the reservoir by Su Yun. He left one person to deal with the aftermath, and the rest all followed him. This matter hadn't reached the critical moment, and he didn't dare to make a judgment. If the 2 foreigners turned hostile, Song Xiong would have a few more scapegoats to take the bullet. Nothing was more important than one's own life. Where there was life, there was hope. Of course, Su Yun wouldn't completely trust Song Xiong. He knew very well that this guy was now a fence-sitter. He would stand on whichever side the wind was stronger. As long as they reached the destination, he would quickly make an assault command and directly catch the other party off guard. This way, they could be brought to justice in the shortest time possible. Along the way, Su Yun repeatedly contacted the brothers of the Special Forces who participated in the operation. Finally, before they reached the destination, they caught up with Su Yun and Song Xiong's car, about a 3-minute drive away. Under Song Xiong's lead, Su Yun also approached the destination little by little. Su Yun's gaze was very firm. "Christian, I've already let you escape twice. This time, I'll never let you escape under my nose again. Otherwise, you'll really underestimate the combat strength of our Dragon Fury team." Time passed by minute, and Song Xiong's car began to slow down. Su Yun realized that they were about to reach the destination. In the brightly lit villa not far in front of him, there was the person he wanted to catch. Chapter 14:10. The car finally stopped in the courtyard in front of the villa. Song Xiong had never been so nervous before. This was not the feeling of going home, but of entering a den of thieves. Whether it was the people behind him or the people in the room, they were all people who could take his life at any time. Su Yun pointed the fake Type 54 at his head. This was something he would never forget. Compared to the 2 guys in the villa, Song Xiong seemed to be more afraid of Su Yun. "Boss Song, are you sure everyone is inside?" Su Yun made a final confirmation. In this kind of life-or-death situation, he believed that Song Xiong, who was afraid of death, would not dare to lie to him. "If the person is not here, then don't blame me for falling out with you. This is your last chance. You are not lying to me, right?" "Of course I wouldn't dare to lie to you," Song Xiong said anxiously. "I promise, they are inside, and they know that something has happened and they need to avoid the limelight for a few days. Normally, they would not run around. If they are not here, then it has nothing to do with me. Boss Su, if I lie, may I be struck by lightning. I am not lying to you. You must be careful. I can't help you with this." I want to help, but I am powerless. You alone. Just as Song Xiongxiong was about to tell Su Yun to take care of himself, Su Yun suddenly raised his hand above his head and made a gesture that Song Xiongxiong did not understand. Just as Song Xiongxiong was hesitating, a dozen people suddenly appeared out of thin air beside him. All of them were fully armed. The guns in their hands were not something that could be found on the black market. It was like the guns in his son's computer games at home. My God, what kind of people are these guys? Who is this Su Yun? Isn't he just the boss of Sky Entertainment Group? Why does he suddenly look like a special force? Song Xiongxiong and his subordinates were completely dumbfounded. They watched as Su Yun and the fully armed people communicated with each other. After that, everyone quickly sneaked into the villa. Are they making King movie? Song Xiongxiong turned his head and looked around. Sky Entertainment Group was in the film and television industry. Maybe they were really making movies? But Song Xiongxiong was not stupid. There was a film crew, a director, and stage management. Even if there was nothing, there should at least be a cameraman, right? If there wasn't even a videographer, then it would be nonsense. Song Xiongxiong raised his hand and gave himself 2 tight slaps. Was he dreaming? That was too realistic. Seeing their boss hit them so hard, Song Xiongxiong's subordinates were all dumbfounded. They thought that their boss was scared silly. To be honest, they didn't want to stay here any longer. They were already using their guns and cannons. If a fight really broke out later and they accidentally got injured, wouldn't that be a huge waste? Boss, I think we should leave first. We still haven't figured out what's going on. Look at this situation, why is it like a war? Someone finally couldn't bear the huge pressure. I still have parents and children at home to feed. I can't risk staying here. Boss, you've always treated us well. We know that in our hearts. But now, we really can't do anything. We can't help you with anything. With someone taking the lead, there were others who followed suit. I have to leave first. Boss, I'm sorry. Originally, these people didn't think that the situation would be so serious. That was why they dared to continue following Song Xiongxiong. Anyway, even if something happened, the boss would take care of it. Their work wouldn't be affected. But now, the situation seemed to be a little too serious. They obviously couldn't believe that Song Xiongxiong could take it. Those 2 foreigners did something in Huaxia, and it caused such a big commotion. No one had expected it. What did you say? I've always treated you well. Now, at this critical moment, you're abandoning me. Song Xiongxiong scolded angrily. I don't care if others abandon me at this time, but you've been following me. You know best how I treat you. You're abandoning me at this time. Are you worthy of me? Go. I'm telling you, if you're unkind to me now, don't blame me for being unkind in the future. These people who followed Song Xiongxiong were his trusted people. They were involved in all of Song Xiongxiong's big and small matters. They also knew that Song Xiongxiong hired people to murder Boss Yu. If they didn't listen to Song Xiongxiong now, they might become scapegoats. Boss, then you go with us. What's the use of us staying here? It's too risky. Someone reminded him. If they want to fight, let them fight. If something really happens, it'll be better if they all die. At that time, as long as it can be settled with money, it won't be a problem. Go now. Song Xiongxiong couldn't do that. This was a critical moment. Even if there was a fight inside, he had to know who won and who lost first. Only when he knew who lost and who won at the first moment could he make a judgment about which side he should choose. Neither side was easy to provoke. If he provoked anyone, he might be killed. Even if he took a big risk, he had to figure out the situation. We can't go now. If you believe me, then listen to me. Song Xiongxiong said firmly, the matter hasn't been decided yet. We still don't know what choice we should make. We can't go. If anyone wants to leave, I won't stop them. But I'm telling you, if you leave, don't ever come back. As long as I, Song Xiongxiong, am alive, those who are unkind to me can forget about making a living in Yanjing. This sentence was really ruthless. These guys were all Yanjing people. If they couldn't make a living in Yanjing, where could they go in the future? If they didn't work for Song Xiongxiong, who else could they work for to get the money now? No way. Those who don't leave today and are loyal to me, your salary will be doubled starting from tomorrow. Song Xiongxiong said, I believe that I, Song Xiongxiong, am lucky. I won't die here today. As for you guys, make your own choice. Just as Song Xiongxiong finished this sentence, there was a gunshot in the villa. Immediately after, the sound of bullets and glass shattering intertwined into a scalp-numbing symphony in the night. Song Xiongxiong was stunned on the spot. Wasn't this too big of a deal? This was Huaxia, Yanjing. Song Xiongxiong couldn't believe that there was a shooting battle in Yanjing under the foot of the emperor that only appeared in Hong Kong police and gangster movies. Boss. I'm sorry. Someone ran away. Even if he couldn't make a living in Yanjing, he had to leave his life behind. Otherwise, even if he could stay in Yanjing, what was the point of becoming a dead person? Being buried in Yanjing wasn't a Yanjing person at all. That was a ghost. Song Xiongxiong was also panicking. He was really panicking. He had thought of causing such a big commotion, but he still couldn't believe that it would cause such a big commotion. Because of this matter with the Yu family, he had truly gotten himself involved in a path of no return. Regret. He really regretted it. Song Xiongxiong was so regretful that his intestines turned green. If he could start over now, he would rather let the Yu family take away that piece of land than do this. What kind of people did he provoke that he shouldn't provoke? What should he do? Boss. Let's go. Don't care who wins or loses. Let's save our own lives first. Naturally, there were also people who were loyal and devoted. It's only right to survive first. Boss, let's go. Bullets don't have eyes. What if they really hurt you? What should we do? Let's go. Let's go. At this point, if they didn't leave now, they would really have to stay here and be shot. Song Xiongxiong allowed the two sides to fight in his villa. He quickly ran into the car and left directly. Although he ran away, he was still panicking in his heart. He suddenly began to hope that Su Yun could win. If Su Yun won, although he wouldn't have a good ending, he could still use his connections and spend more money to try to solve it. However, if those two guys won and he ran away now, would those two guys let him go since he was the one who brought Su Yun and the others? The answer was definitely not. Then he would end up like Boss Yu. Chapter 14:11. Song Xiongxiong, who had run a few hundred meters, suddenly stopped. No, he couldn't leave. If he left, he wouldn't be able to explain himself to either side. Even if he had to grit his teeth today, he had to hold on and get through it. After so many years, Song Xiongxiong could be considered a lucky person. He didn't believe that he couldn't get through today's incident. Don't run. Song Xiongxiong ordered. If we run away today, and Su Yun wins the battle, then each and every one of you will be arrested. This is called fleeing for your crimes. We can only hold on. Only when this matter is over can we be considered to have redeemed ourselves. Today, I wanted to kill him. If he catches the opportunity, not only me, but all of you under me, he won't let a single one of you off. Song Xiongxiong's words made the group of people stop, but some people didn't believe it. Boss, what if Chairman Su loses? Although he has a lot of people and a lot of weapons, the two people in the house are not to be trifled with, especially Mr. Jefferson. He also has a weapon in his hand. We have all seen how he fights, and he is much more ruthless than Chairman Su. If Su loses, we will be worse off. Song Xiongxiong shouted. You have all seen what kind of person Jefferson is. I have seen it too. You all know how ruthless he is. If they survive today and find out that we are not here, they will definitely think that we betrayed them. At that time, it won't be a case of being arrested and sentenced. We will end up like Boss Yu, drinking tea and playing chess with the King of Hell. Do you understand? Song Xiongxiong's words completely stunned everyone, and they stopped running. Song Xiongxiong was right. If they ran away now, the consequences would be unimaginable. Neither side would be nice to them. If they ran away, they would die. The only chance to turn the situation around was to stay here and take the risk of a hail of bullets. Song Xiongxiong had always been able to gain the trust of his subordinates by making the right decisions. Everyone knew that there would be meat to eat if they followed Boss Song. That was why they were willing to stay by his side and serve him like an ox or horse. They would not hesitate to do anything for him. Now that everyone had fallen into such a dilemma, it was difficult to explain to both sides. Perhaps only Song Xiongxiong's decision could bring them out of this vicious circle. Song Xiongxiong took a deep breath. He really couldn't just leave this matter like this. Only a fool would put himself in an even more dangerous situation just to avoid danger for a moment. Just now, he had been frightened by the sudden gunshots. Now that he had calmed down and analyzed the situation, he realized that he couldn't do it that way. Since that was the case, he could only brace himself and continue watching. He had to find a place to hide. Although bullets don't have eyes, humans do. As long as you don't head straight for the muzzle, the bullet won't turn around and hit you, right? Song Xiongxiong was the first to fall to the ground. He crawled under the wall of the villa courtyard. With the wall as a cover, even if the bullets hit, they would not be able to penetrate it. Thinking that the weapons on both sides were quite advanced, the penetrating power was also quite terrifying. Although he didn't understand, when he saw his son playing this kind of game, he knew that the more expensive the gun was, the more ruthless the shooting effect would be. It could also kill people through the wall. Thinking of this, Song Xiongxiong called two of his subordinates to his side and let them add another line of defense between the wall and him. Of course, these two subordinates didn't know the boss's intention. They thought that Song Xiongxiong was moved for giving such a safe position to them. The others also sighed at Boss Song's generosity. Just now, they were about to abandon him and run away. At this time, he could still be so sympathetic to them. Where could they find such a good boss? Sometimes, some of the things he asked them to do were a little immoral and made them feel guilty in their hearts. Most of the time, he was a pretty good boss. At least, he was better than other bosses outside. Several of his subordinates thought of Song Xiongxiong's kindness and returned the safest position to him. They insisted that he sit closest to the wall. Song Xiongxiong couldn't say anything. He couldn't tell the truth. If he told the truth, he would definitely be scolded by them. Their hearts would be scattered. At this time, he could only pray that nothing would happen. He believed that God would help him get through this disaster. Song Xiongxiong prayed in his heart while thinking about how he would give back to society after he escaped this disaster. How he would donate to those in need in society, and how he would devote himself to kindness and Buddha. He said these things in hopes that God would let the bullets grow eyes and not kill him through the wall. If that happened, he would really die in vain. Listening to the gunshots in the villa, even if he didn't see it with his own eyes, Song Xiongxiong could imagine the tragic situation inside. It wasn't that he hadn't seen it in the movies. The bullets were flying everywhere, and the furnishings in the entire room were flying. There was blood everywhere, and corpses were everywhere. However, the scene inside was completely different from what Song Xiongxiong had imagined. There were no corpses everywhere, and no one was bleeding. Everything else that should have happened had happened. The expensive calligraphy and paintings on the wall, the antique furnishings on the table, and the things worth at least tens of millions of dollars were all destroyed. However, there were no casualties on either side of the gunfight. Su Yun's command of the attack was timely, and Jefferson and Christian reacted quickly. Their sense of smell was also very sensitive. The moment Su Yun and the others entered the villa, Jefferson and Christian also smelled danger in the unusual silence. Jefferson immediately pulled out a leather suitcase from under the bed. It was full of weapons. These were the parts he had sent from America in batches. He had reassembled them himself. Not having a weapon would make people feel uneasy, especially Americans who were used to carrying guns. China was a society where guns were banned, and Jefferson could only use such a costly and troublesome method to get his hands on a weapon. What happened now proved that his efforts were not in vain. The other party had come with so many people, and all of them were carrying advanced weapons. If it were not for Jefferson and the others, they would have been fine. Now, he and Christian could have raised their hands and surrendered. Now, they also had the same advanced weapons. With the advantage of the second-floor bedroom, although they had fewer people, they could still suppress Su Yun and the others on the first floor. In such a small room, the advantage of location was very important. Su Yun did not want his brothers to be injured, so they could not force their way in. They could only think of another way. Only by finding another route to the second floor could they have the same advantage. At that time, the other party would be in trouble. After all, they had more people. Capturing the two of them would not be a problem. Shadow Dragon, take the brothers and continue suppressing them with fire. We must not let them have the advantage, and we must not let them discover that I have left. Su Yun made a decision. Black Dragon, Green Dragon, the two of you come with me. Go up from the back of the building and sneak in from the attic on the top floor. Remember, you must be careful and avoid making any weak sounds. We must take them down in one fell swoop while they are unprepared. Okay. Han Zhan and Qian Feng both nodded vigorously. Hua Leitang also made a hand gesture, indicating that Su Yun could rest assured and leave this place to him. He then fired a string of bullets, causing the guy who was trying to look up to climb down again. Now that they had confirmed that there were only two opponents, everything was under control. Of course, this time, they did not dare to be careless. Hua Xiaolu and a few of his brothers did not come in. They were hiding outside the villa. If the other party sent more reinforcements, they would directly intercept and take them down. All the arrangements this time had been carefully calculated by Su Yun, and he absolutely would not allow any mistakes to be made. These two Americans could go to hell. Chapter 14:12. Hua Leitang's suppressive fire was accurate and sharp, so Jefferson and Christian had no time to think about anything else. The bullets had completely destroyed the wall behind the two of them. The splashing wall peeled off, and Christian's mouth was full of white powder. What should we do now? Christian had placed all his hopes on Jefferson, who was both his senior and his commanding officer. Jefferson had experienced much more than him, so he believed that he could definitely settle this matter. Sir, you have to make a decision. If this goes on, we will definitely be exhausted to death by them. They have too many people. Jefferson was actually a little regretful. If he had not used powerful weapons to save people yesterday, things would not have gotten to this point today. Huaxia people had always been particular about using peaceful means before resorting to force. In the beginning, although the other party was searching for them, they did not carry such lethal weapons. But now, it seemed that they would not give up until they were crushed into meat paste. It was only now that Jefferson understood the general's instructions before he left, telling him to act quietly and quietly in Huaxia. The general knew that he liked to use weapons to solve problems because it was the fastest way to kill the enemy, so he reminded him not to bring troublesome things to Huaxia. Jefferson did not bring weapons directly into Huaxia, but because he did not feel safe, he had people dismantle the guns as quickly as possible and send them in batches. If he had known that these things would cause him trouble, he would not have brought them. Now that things had come to this, he had no other way out, so he could only face them head-on. We must not let them suppress our assault. Guard the stairs and reduce the number of empty shots. We have limited bullets, and we cannot afford to waste time with them. As long as they cannot break through, we will have a chance. You must be patient. Patience was the key to finding solutions to problems. This was General Arnold's teaching, and it had indeed helped them in many situations. Many people understood that impulse was the devil. Patience could solve all problems that seemed impossible to solve. This was a principle that many people could not understand. The more dangerous the situation, the more patience was needed. This principle was simple, but very few people understood it. People would always panic in times of danger, and when they panicked, they would make the wrong judgment, and the wrong judgment at this time would often be fatal. Jefferson, who was more experienced, was not in a hurry to make a judgment. He needed to calm down to ensure that he would not be led to the wrong judgment by impulse. Christian was struggling to hold on, and from time to time, he would shoot at the stairs to warn the people below not to act rashly. Actually, Hua Leitang and the others weren't even planning to go up. Their goal was to attract the attention of these two fellows and suppress their firepower, buying precious time for Su Yun and the others. They also wanted to help Su Yun and the others distract their opponents as much as possible. Jefferson finally came to a realization. Prepare to evacuate. There were people everywhere. How to evacuate? Christian was dumbfounded. These people's bullets didn't have eyes. In a hail of bullets, even if he could dodge one bullet, how could he dodge 100? If he could retreat, he would have done so long ago. The door, the windows, and all the exits were filled with the enemy's people. Where could they retreat to? Besides, they weren't sure if there were reinforcements outside. Even if they could take a gamble and run out under the rain of bullets, what if there were guns outside? This was not like filming a movie where the main character's halo was worn and all the bullets could only hit the back of the main character's heels. The people they were facing were all members of the special forces, not extras in movies. Their marksmanship wasn't that bad. Even if a fly wanted to fly out, if the sharpshooters of the special forces didn't want to let it out, they could still blast it to pieces with a bullet. Sir, this is the judgment you made after calming down? Christian was a little disappointed. Evacuate. It's easy to say. What do we do? Don't talk about evacuating. It's already a problem for us to get out of this staircase safely. Go to the attic. There must be a skylight in the attic. Not only is it safe to go out there, but we can also observe the situation outside from above. Find a place with fewer people as a breakthrough point. We'll evacuate in the shortest time possible. As long as we control the time well, we'll have a chance. Jefferson had already made his decision. Christian was stunned at first, but soon understood. This might really be their last chance. Since that was the case, this was the only choice. He nodded vigorously and accepted the order. Sir, I'll listen to you. You go first. I'll bring up the rear. Jefferson said as he took out his only flash grenade. With the observation skills of a member of the Special Forces, even if he threw out the flash grenade, he believed that it wouldn't really hit anyone. However, it would make these members of the Special Forces not dare to open their eyes for a few seconds. These few seconds would give him a chance to escape from this point and run to the attic on the top floor. Christian was on standby on time. When he saw Jefferson throw out the flash grenade, he shouted, "Go!" Christian was like a sharp sword, rushing out with a whoosh. Jefferson followed closely behind. When Hua Leitang realized that the other party had thrown out the flash grenade, he immediately crouched down to protect his eyes. He loudly reminded the other brothers, "Watch out for the flash. Protect your eyes." Just as he finished speaking, they heard an explosion. In the small villa, the explosion made everyone's ears ring. Even though they had taken precautions, they were still somewhat affected. Even the two users, Jefferson and Christian, were not spared. They didn't have the time to protect themselves. The reflection of the flashlight on the wall also affected the two of them to a certain extent. The only good thing was that it didn't delay them from escaping to the next floor. That was enough. As long as they opened the skylight, they would have a chance to escape. The moment Christian's vision turned white and the tinnitus in his ears disappeared, 3 black figures appeared before him and blocked his way. Su Yun stood in front of Christian and Jefferson. Han Zhan and Qian Feng aimed their weapons at Christian's and Jefferson's foreheads respectively. The infrared sights stopped steadily between the two people's eyebrows. From the corner of their eyes, they could see the red infrared sights between their eyes. As long as they dared to do anything suspicious, Qian Feng and Han Zhan would definitely not be merciful. After all, these two people weren't ordinary people. They wouldn't give them a chance. Before I remove all the weapons on you, if you dare to have any improper thoughts, we won't have the chance to continue chatting. Su Yun smiled and squatted down. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly as he looked at Christian with a cold smile. You don't think that your luck will continue to be so good, right? You've escaped twice. I won't give you a third chance. This wasn't a joke, nor was it a threat. Su Yun was just stating a fact. As long as they moved, they would definitely die. We admit defeat. Jefferson's answer was very straightforward. He knew what kind of people he could resist against and what kind of people he couldn't. Since Su Yun was willing to spend so much energy to deal with them, he wouldn't give them a chance to bite back. The two gunmen's fingers were already halfway on the triggers. As long as they used the slightest bit of strength, their heads would be pierced by the bullets. After Jefferson finished speaking, he slowly placed the weapons in his hands on the ground. His movements were extremely slow. Any carelessness would cause the other party to become nervous. Now, even if the other party didn't want to kill them, the slightest tremor in their fingers would cause them to pull the trigger. Jefferson had to be very careful since his life was in his hands. He put down the weapons in his hands and began to slowly unbuckle his weapon harness. He slowly placed all the weapons on the ground. This was the only way the other party's weapons wouldn't go off. Chapter 14:13. Seeing that Jefferson had chosen to give up, Christian was, of course, unhappy. He wanted to do something, but Jefferson's eyes were fixed on him. The look in his eyes was very firm, as if telling him that no matter what thoughts he had, he could dispel them now. Otherwise, only death awaited him. There was no way to solve this matter, and he could only resign himself to fate. Christian wanted to resist, but he was afraid that he really did not have the ability to do so now. Even Jefferson had been captured. How could he escape by himself? The first two fights between Su Yun and Christian could be said to be a draw. The first time, Christian did not seize the opportunity, and Su Yun was saved by Xiong Zhou, who appeared out of nowhere. The second time, Su Yun did not seize the opportunity, and Christian was disrupted by Jefferson's sudden appearance. The third battle now seemed to be won by Su Yun. Christian had to be on tenterhooks even when he moved a little, but Su Yun could strut around in front of him. To put it bluntly, Su Yun was now flushed with success, while Christian was like a stray dog. The current situation had already determined the outcome of the battle. Christian had no choice but to admit defeat, but he felt a little vexed about losing. There was not even a direct confrontation, and he had to bow his head directly. Jefferson, the senior officer that he had always respected, was actually so straightforward. Christian could not understand this. Even if he lost, he should lose with dignity. Why did he have to be so dejected? Could it be that Jefferson had forgotten that the general had taught them to have integrity? People in Huaxia often said that a warrior would rather be killed than humiliated. Had he already reached this point? Yes, a warrior would rather be killed than humiliated. In this battle with Su Yun, to Christian, losing was no different from dying. If he failed the mission, there was no reason for him to continue living. He had made a military pledge in front of the general, but it was not until he met Jefferson that he realized that the general did not trust him completely when he made the pledge. If the general believed him, he wouldn't have arranged for anyone else to go to Huaxia. This was a competition. Those who won the competition would be valued and valued, while those who lost would be abandoned. If he was abandoned, Christian would rather die. At least he would have no regrets in his life. It was more meaningful than living like a zombie. Chris, put down your weapon slowly and disarm yourself. Jefferson seemed to have read Christian's mind. I don't care what you're thinking. You have to do as I say. This is an order. Do you hear me? Jefferson knew all too well, didn't he? As long as Christian dared to make a move, the bullet would directly blast his head, and he would be implicated. Therefore, Jefferson would not let Christian act rashly. Being impulsive would not solve the problem. It would only make the problem worse. Order. Another order. Christian cursed in his heart. However, obeying the orders of General Ard's secret agents was a principle that they had to abide by. Therefore, even if Christian did not want to care about this matter, he still chose to obey. He gave up on his previous thoughts and slowly put down his weapon. Then, like Jefferson, he disarmed himself. All the weapons were out of their effective range of control. Su Yun took their weapons to his side. Han Zhan and Chen Feng's muzzles never left Christian and Jefferson's forehead. At this moment, Han Zhan rushed up with his brothers downstairs. When they saw that the other party had already disarmed and was under the control of Han Zhan and Chen Feng, they swarmed up and tied the two up. Christian was tied up like a cocoon and directly slammed to the ground. When Chen Feng and Han Zhan finally put away their guns, Christian said fiercely, "Yen Long, you win this time. But I will never let you win against me again. Again. Do you think you still have a future?" Chen Feng stepped forward and slammed the butt of his gun on Christian's chin. Christian spat out a mouthful of blood and 2 teeth. Although this behavior was a little against the rules, and beating captives was not allowed, no one stopped Chen Feng. This was because Chen Feng was not the only one who wanted to teach this bastard a lesson. "You killed 2 innocent people in Huaxia, and you still want to leave alive? What kind of good things are you thinking? Let me tell you, there is no way." Christian spat out the remaining blood in his mouth. "I have already surrendered. I am a captive. You can't do anything to a captive. This is the international law of war. If you kill me, you will be violating the rules. Rules are dead, people are alive," Su Yun sneered. "Even if you are a bastard, you can't change the fact that you committed a crime in Huaxia. You hurt an ordinary person, so you must bear the punishment of hurting an ordinary person. This matter will be judged by our law. It will not be the country's court to judge you. Do you understand?" "What? Why is it like this?" "No, of course I can't let you judge me." Christian's eyes widened. "No, you can't do that. Even if I committed a crime, I must be extradited back to our country and be punished by our country. I am not from Huaxia. You have no right to punish me. You are indeed not from Huaxia, but King committed a crime in Huaxia." Hua Xiaolu also pointed his gun at the back of Christian's head. This grandson's words were really too infuriating. He felt very angry when he heard them. No matter how good his temper was, he could not hold back from making a move. Jefferson was worried that Christian would be beaten to death by these people before he could be judged, so he immediately stopped them. Even if you committed a crime in Huaxia, you still have to go through the proper procedures of law enforcement officers in Huaxia. If you use lynchings, you will also be violating the rules. Without waiting for Dragon's Fury's brothers to speak, Su Yun directly jumped up in anger and kicked Christian in the face. A black footprint was directly imprinted on his face, and the blood in his mouth and nose mixed together. This kick was really ruthless. Christian probably could not even keep his nose bridge. "So what if I violated the rules? Are you still going to bite me?" Su Yun glared at Jefferson provocatively. Although he had interacted with Christian the most and knew how cunning Christian was, he felt that Christian was just a child compared to Jefferson. This guy was even more annoying. From today onwards, Su Yun was determined to hate any special agent. Seeing Su Yun's reaction, Jefferson did not say anything else. He did not want to get into trouble. At this point, they had no chance or possibility of resisting. Although it seemed ridiculous to resign themselves to fate, this was the truth. As long as the people General Arnold had arranged were still there, they would see the light one day. As long as they were alive, they would have a chance to see the dawn of victory. Jefferson was not so impulsive. He had his own plans and arrangements when he had the upper hand. He was at a disadvantage and was controlled, but he also had his own plans and arrangements. Shadow Dragon, this guy really needs to be investigated carefully. He has to be controlled alone. He might be even more dangerous than that bastard. Su Yun had a keen sense of smell. From Jefferson's calm attitude in handling things, he realized that this guy was more troublesome than Christian. He really had to thank Christian for being able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone today. If they had not captured him, they would not have lured out this guy who seemed to be more of a headache. This operation was definitely a great harvest. In a situation where there were no casualties at all, Su Yun and the others had caught 2 at once. If Wan Guangxiao knew about this, Wouldn't he be so excited that he would slap the table? Don't worry. We don't know much about this guy, so we have to monitor him closely. Shadow Dragon nodded. He was careful enough to not make such a low-level mistake. Chapter 14:14. Jefferson did not say a word when he was tied up. Su Yun would have admired a person with this kind of character if he were not an opponent. He was too calm, so calm that it was scary. This kind of opponent might be far more threatening than Christian. This unexpected gain obviously made Su Yun and his brothers very satisfied. After the two were completely subdued and their weapons were taken away, no one raised their guns to defend themselves. At this moment, a very scary thought flashed through Su Yun's mind. Without any warning, he snatched the assault rifle from Chen Feng's hands and pressed it against the back of Jefferson's head. His actions surprised everyone. Because of Su Yun's actions, the brothers who had just heaved a sigh of relief picked up their weapons again and entered a state of alert, ready to fight. The last time Jefferson was able to save Christian was the moment Christian bowed his head. That was the moment everyone let down their guard. Su Yun did not want the same thing to happen again. Jefferson's calmness made him feel a little uncomfortable. He was worried that this guy was waiting for this moment. So when Su Yun felt that his brothers had let down their guard, he pressed the gun against Jefferson's head. As long as he made any move, Su Yun would not hesitate to pull the trigger. Killing prisoners of war was definitely against the rules, but if he waited until Jefferson made a move, Su Yun was worried that he would not be able to control him, so he did not care so much. Jefferson could only blame himself for making Su Yun feel too uncomfortable. Facing the sudden muzzle of the gun against his head, Jefferson completely gave up. To be honest, he was indeed waiting for such an opportunity. As long as the people present relaxed for a moment, he could take advantage of their attention on Christian and think of a way to escape. Although he was tied up like this, he was more careful when he was being controlled. He used his arms to expand the width of his body to the maximum, so that he could have space to loosen the rope. This kind of specially made rope was not that easy to break free from. General Aude had already trained them in this aspect. The trainer was a magician. He had demonstrated many ways of binding. As long as you made some slight changes to your arms, such as using your left and right arms, one leaning forward and the other leaning backward, the binding would feel very firm. As long as you wanted to break free, the trainer could return your shoulders to their original position and obtain space to move your fingers. Jefferson, on the other hand, had learned more than 300 different methods of unfastening. With his diligent practice, he only needed to touch a button to know how to unfasten it. Furthermore, he could unfasten it in the shortest amount of time. These were all things that he had learned from the world-renowned magician who performed escapes. Back then, everyone had thought that this was meaningless training, but now Jefferson realized that this was actually a very effective way to save himself. It was a pity that Su Yun was more vigilant than him and did not give him a chance to show off his talent. Otherwise, he would definitely surprise these guys from the Hua Xia Special Forces. He would let them know how elusive the American agents were, and how many extraordinary methods they had. Su Yun pressed the gun against Jefferson's head and tugged at the ropes binding Jefferson's body, loosening it. Although Su Yun did not understand how this guy did it, he realized that his vigilance was right. This guy did have some ideas. Su Yun's actions naturally did not escape everyone's eyes. When Hua Leitang saw that the rope had loosened, he exclaimed in disbelief in his heart. Hua Leitang quickly pulled on the rope binding Christian, but it did not budge at all. This meant that it was not because of them, nor was it because of the rope. Jefferson must have done something to his body when he was tied up by them. Do you know how to make the rope looser? Su Yun returned the gun to Chen Feng. There were already many guns aimed at Jefferson, so he did not need to do this anymore. I can tell you a better way. Why don't you give it a try? Since he had already been exposed, Jefferson had nothing to hide. He smiled and looked at Su Yun. I'm all ears. Captain Yen Long really lives up to his reputation. I can say without any flattery that you are the smartest Hua Xia person I've ever met. I have lost to you today, and I accept it wholeheartedly. There's no point in flattering me now. Su Yun suddenly moved. With a two-pronged attack, he directly dislocated both of Jefferson's arms from the shoulder joints. The pain was nothing to Jefferson and the others. However, with both arms dislocated, he had completely lost his ability to fight. This meant that he had completely lost the ability to fight back. Jefferson frowned. Su Yun was really not easy to deal with. Now he had no chance of counterattacking. I originally thought that Captain Yen Long was quite brave, but now it seems that he's just so. I'm already in this state, yet you're still afraid of me and dislocated both of my arms. Afraid of you? When Chen Feng heard this, he almost hit Jefferson with the butt of his gun until his mouth was full of blood. Bastard, he was still so stubborn even when he was about to die. How dare he say that they were afraid of him? If this kind of trash was not taught a lesson, who knew what kind of fart he would release? Su Yun did not let Chen Feng attack. Instead, he smiled. You really have too many ideas. I have to guard against you. If you think that I'm afraid of you, then so be it. I don't care. I just want to let your General Ade know that if he wants to arrange a bunch of people to deal with me, I'll catch all of them in one fell swoop. If he arranges for you to sneak in secretly, I'll take you down one by one. Let him give up on his idea as soon as possible. Christian spat. There was quite a lot of blood in his mouth. Bullying with numbers. Otherwise, do you think we would lose to you? Ha ha ha, ridiculous, ridiculous. If you King open your mouth again, I'll make your mouth full of pus and sores. Chen Feng pointed at Christian fiercely. What right does a despicable thing like you have to open your mouth? I don't talk about one-on-one or morality when dealing with you guys, because you guys are a bunch of despicable and shameless scum from top to bottom. You still have the face to talk about us? So what if we bully you? Even if I ride on your neck and shit, what can you do? Chen Feng firmly believed that to deal with this kind of unreasonable and shameless scum, he had to use this kind of unreasonable method. Needless to say, this method was absolutely effective. With this scolding, Christian couldn't say a word. He didn't want this guy in front of him to really ride on his neck and do that kind of thing. Take them away. Su Yun. Seal their mouths. These people might say something to divert your attention. Sometimes, verbal psychological brainwashing is also a kind of tactic. In order to prevent any accidents, Su Yun simply asked them to seal their mouths. This way it would be completely safe. Since the gunshots in the villa stopped, Song Xiongxiong began to mutter. Who exactly lost and who won? Who should he expect to win? Who would be more beneficial to him if they won? His mind was in a mess. It was really messy. Of course, it would be best if both sides suffered losses. Then, he would go all the way and directly deal with all of them. Without anyone knowing, this matter would no longer have anything to do with him. Soon, Song Xiongxiong was frightened by his own thoughts. He shook his fat head and quickly sobered himself up. It was better to go and see what was going on first. Just when Song Xiongxiong and a few of his men who were brave enough to stay behind walked forward cautiously, the door of the villa that could not withstand a single blow was kicked open. More than a dozen people from the Dragon's Fury Special Forces pushed two foreigners out. Song Xiongxiong was shocked. The fight inside had already reached such a state, but there were still no casualties. They capture them alive just like that? Song Xiongxiong was still in shock when Jefferson looked up and saw him. After seeing Song Xiongxiong, Jefferson stopped on the spot and stared fiercely at Song Xiongxiong, as if he was using his gaze to warn him about something. Seeing this, Su Yun immediately tore the seal off Jefferson's mouth. Jefferson was stunned, but he didn't miss the opportunity. Boss Song. In your Chinese words, this is called burning the bridge after crossing the river, getting rid of the donkey after it has outlived its usefulness. You will definitely regret betraying us. I promise. Song Xiongxiong wanted to say that he didn't betray them, but the winner was Su Yun now. Of course, he had to firmly express his position on Su Yun's side. You all commit all kinds of evil. You even threatened me to protect you. You deserve it. We threatened you? Jefferson sneered. Captain Yen Long, the death of your Hua Xiaoyu family was paid by Boss Song. Ha ha ha, I think you are a suitable person to be friends with, so I will do you a favor. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.